hair looks all crazy, bro. All right. Let's take that down. Let's go here. We live? We lit? We here? What's up? How we doing? Let me turn it. It's hot. Why is it always hot? There we go. Actually, let's turn that up to 70. What is going on, my peoples? How are we doing today? Let me fill in some socks. Because right when I say it's hot, y'all already know me by now, I'm going to say it's cold. So we got to throw in our socky socks. Got to throw in our socks so the body can maintain homeostasis. Now, if you happen to have not taken science class and you're not familiar with what homeostasis is, it's basically your body's internal thermostat, is what it is. It keeps you cool when you're supposed to be cool, raises your temperature when you're cold, etc., etc. ETC, ETC. How y'all doing, man? Did y'all know tomorrow is Friday? I just found out. Did y'all know tomorrow is Friday? That's a beautiful thing. You know, not every day is a Friday. Not every tomorrow is a Friday. So whenever a Friday is upon us, it's a beautiful thing. Let's see what the chat's talking about. You should watch Seth Eisen Solo's 99% of Fiction video. Seth the programmer. Should I though, Joanne? Exis Borakua. Joanne. I'm gonna just say Joanne. I should watch Seth Eisen Solo's 99% of Fiction video. Here is the thing. I don't have a problem watching that video. What I do take issue with is, well, no, I will say I have a problem watching the video. I kind of like to limit the type of videos or the type of creators I watch, even for streaming purposes, right? Like, if I'm going to go out my way to watch a Seth the Programmer video, scaling video, it's more so to teach something or to point out something that I disagree with. I don't know. You know what? That's too political. It's too political. Simple request. Watch the video. We'll watch it. Because I think we actually watched... No. We did. We watched the Itachi one. We watched Itachi Solo's 99% of Fiction. So, you know what? We'll watch it. Not to, maybe tonight. Maybe tonight, because we're watching videos tonight. So maybe tonight. What else we got? Yes, he should. Okay, so Kai thinks I should too. Disturbing the Peace says Shinigami. Hi, what's good, Karibo? How you doing? How you doing, Kai? Got to see Ab-Stract's reaction, literally pulverizing mountains with the air pressure of her slashes. Her slashes? Because Ichigo and Aizen been doing that. Who's her? Naruto has healed a punctured lung, so the whole hitting his organs thing isn't really going to stop him in a fight. More or less, yes. More or less, yeah. That's a pretty good regen feat. So long as Kurama is healing him. That's true. So long as Kurama has chakra to heal him, yeah, that's true. Damn, that's a forehead. Hey, chill out, bro. Hey, chill out, bro. I was fucking with my hair. Because your melanin releases divine heat. Close. I like that answer. I want to see chat's reaction. You want to see chat's reaction to what, Shinigami? Bleach and One Piece don't have many matchups. They keep trying to come for the top dog Naruto while conveniently avoiding each other. The funny thing about that, Karibo, is this. It's funny you bring that up, Karibo. Here's the thing. One Piece fans don't talk enough shit to me personally to inspire me to go make a video on them. That's number one. Most One Piece fans that I talk to are humble. They have humility. They don't go around. Mind you, we're going to watch a video today that kind of contradicts what I'm about to say. But they don't really go around saying Luffy beats all of Dragon Ball Z. Luffy beats Beerus. They don't do that. The Naruto community does. And then the Naruto community has this like complex to where they think their verse is the fastest, has the most AP, is the most durable, has the most hacks. And so like a lot of times you guys got to be sat down and be fucking humbled. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You guys got to be sat down and belt has to be put to ass for a lot of the shit that you guys spew. Which is why you'll see a me in Eon, in Steinixos, in Aizen's World, and Shonen Cone. We'll mainly do Naruto versus Bleach. Naruto versus One Piece. Not Bleach versus One Piece or One Piece versus Bleach. And then there's a second layer to that as well. So the second layer to that, aside from humbling you niggas because y'all think your verse is the best thing since fucking sliced bread. Aside from humbling you niggas, Naruto is the happy medium, I think, between then One Piece / Bleach or One Piece stronger than Naruto, vice versa. Both fandoms, as far as One Piece and Bleach, pretty much agree Naruto is the weakest fandom. Pretty much. Not a lot of One Piece fans that I run into that don't think Bleach is stronger. Not a lot of Bleach fans I run into that don't think One Piece is stronger than Naruto, that is. So you guys are kind of the happy medium for both verses to scale. You guys are. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And here's the thing. From my purview, a lot of One Piece characters... Oh, not a lot. Let me take that back. From my purview, there are some One Piece characters who could get down with some captains, some Stern Ritter, some Espada. They exist. Well, actually, hold on. Let me think about that. How do I want to say this? Yeah, once One Piece gets some really, really, really dope hacks, for the most part, because they have AP, they have speed. Undeniably, they have speed. They have AP, depending on who we're talking about. So yeah, once their hacks gets up there, they should be good to go. Yeah, Naruto is just kind of the happy medium that everyone likes to talk about, and then number two, you guys are more popular, so a video on a Naruto character will get more views. Gotta throw that in there too. But 9 times out of 10, Karibo, when I'm making a video, it's because you've personally, have pushed me to make a video. But that's a very hilarious observation. It's one I've also picked up on myself. And I'm glad you noticed it. Alright. Also, I think haki is shown better than Gentle Fist. Ooh. Well, yeah, haki would just be better than the Gentle Fist, primarily because the Gentle Fist relies too much on the chakra network and the chakra points. Actually, I'm trying to get more matchups for Ichigo. Cloud and Nero are the only ones in mind so far. Yep, Naruto can have Yusuke, and he ain't winning, to be honest. Naruto ain't doing nothing with Yusuke Urameshi. Stop playing. Naruto kind of destroys Yusuke. Naruto doesn't have the speed nor AP to destroy Yusuke. He just doesn't. Not from what I've seen. My character. Oh, your character. Oh, yeah. Hey, yo, when your manga is done, Shinigami, please let me be the first to know. Also, this is literally the first arc. Give me a break. Damn, stream slowing down because of Ab-Stract's forehead. It's not even that, bro. What it is the motherfucking... There's a storm out here in Virginia. And that's kind of making it slower. Hold up. Yeah, there's a storm out here in Virginia. It's kind of making it slower. So I apologize in advance, In advance, in advance. I'm too advanced for the vans. Too advanced for the man. In advance. Alright. I have not heard anyone say Naruto beats Beerus. I've seen Naruto Solo's Dragon Ball Z. How have you not heard that? If you've seen Naruto Solo's Dragon Ball Z, the implication is that he can also beat Beerus. Let's not play games. I remember when Bleach and Naruto fans agreed One Piece was the weakest out of the big three, but that was years ago. Yeah, see, and so here's the thing with that. One Piece. So that came about by an acknowledgement that although Bleach wasn't the most popular, the feats it had really made it a top tier fucking shonen as far as power. It wasn't the most popular, but the feats it had was undeniable. The reason One Piece got pushed to the side was because a lot of people kept capping them and downplaying them to island level, to small island level. And because they're pirates that just travel the seas, they must be weak. They're not fighting on anything other than an island. They're not destroying anything other than an island. Ergo, island level is where you cap. Here's the stupid ass thing with cosmology scaling that I do not like. I'm not going to shout. Here's the stupid ass thing with cosmology scaling. For the most part, you don't scale to your creations. So the minute that Gremmy started making galaxies and universes, the minute Yukio started doing all these things, people say, oh my God, you scale to your energy. He output the energy of a star. He must be galaxy level. Kaguya created X amount of planets with dimensions and suns and solars. She must scale to that. No one in One Piece was doing that. No one in One Piece was doing that. But this is where the birth of bad scaling, disingenuous scaling, and disinformation came from. That whole era of you scale to what you create. I promise you, if I was on the scenes back then and active, we would have put a stop to all that shit. We would have put a stop to it. One Piece is the weakest simply because people did not know how to fucking scale. And the people that didn't know how to scale weren't making fucking videos. They were on forums and threads, typing their asses away. Which is good for references, but none of them had a voice. None of them were being heard. So, yes, while One Piece was regarded as one of the weakest out of the big three for that time, it was simply because people didn't know how to fucking scale. And people never employed basic logic. If you employ basic logic and you follow the series to how it progresses linearly, you'll never get to the conclusion that anyone in Naruto is unifucking-versal. You'll never get there. Not off a Kaguya feat, at least. Maybe something in Two Blue Vortex happens, not off a Kaguya feat. With Bleach, it's a little more heated, contentious. Because while I hold the same truth that Grammy does not scale to the things he creates, I'm talking with Rev in the Discord, and he's actually bringing some good evidence to suggest why that could be the case. And I'll say this, it's not something that I've never considered. Mind you, I have considered it, but I'm very strict. Even with the shit that I put out there, I'm very strict. So it has to go through a rigorous process. We have to look at it like, okay, cool. So the energy system, so the power, the stats are backed by the energy system. The energy system is what dictates who gets hurt and to what degree they get hurt. The power, the speed, all that stuff. So does simply performing things with the energy also equate to the AP? Maybe, but not really. And I think I said this to him. I was like, for something to really be a one-to-one with the energy, for a creation to be one-to-one with the energy, I need more than you just being able to destroy the thing you created. For example, a fucking leaf ninja can create a rock wall jutsu. Cool. That's a creation feat. It technically is. He took his chakra, molded it together, and created something new. That's a creation feat. Yes, it is. I need that ninja for me to be able to say, okay, yeah, he scales to his creation. I need that ninja to show complete and utter destruction. I mean nothing left. No smoke, no dust, no vapor, no nothing. It needs to disappear with whatever attack he is using to create said thing. And we need to know it's a 1-to-1 to the energy he used to create it. Then I will give you scaling to your creations. Other than that, no. You can create things with enough energy, sure. And you can destroy things, but you're not using more energy to destroy the thing you created, or else it wouldn't be there. See how simple logic kind of just disproves any creation feat scaling to the fucking AP or power of something? You see how that works, bro? But then it gets a little contentious, because when you're scaling to the energy system, like with Bleach, we get to realms of power where Yuha is just sitting down affecting the cosmology. He's sitting down, sleeping, presumably, affecting the cosmology. Ichigo is able to kill this Yuha twice in combat. How the hell are you supposed to scale that? Mind you, Aizen hasn't created anything necessarily. He hasn't really destroyed anything. We've seen him affecting the cosmology, though. There are tears in the fabric of the Bleach universe because of Yuha. I think I might have said Aizen. But because of Yuha, there are tears in the fabric of the Bleach universe. So what is one to do with a character that can affect said space to the degree that he does, and does actually have the power to destroy it, being that he absorbed the Soul King, the person that was holding the cosmology together before? What are we to do with that individual? And what are we to do with the individual that killed that individual not once, but twice? Is the argument for Ichigo being universal likely? Is it possible? Is it something we should consider based on the interpretation we're given? Soul King stabilizes the cosmology, the universes, the worlds. Yuha comes along, kills the Soul King, steals his power, gets a power up. Yuha starts affecting the realms from his sleep, in his sleep. Ichigo kills Yuha. Spirit energy scales the stats. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to... So that's why it gets a little hazy with... I don't want to just say Bleach. It gets a little hazy with verses that scale to their energy system. It's not just Bleach. There's others out there. It's not just Bleach. But yeah, that's why it gets a little hazy. But One Piece has never been the weakest. No. One Piece has never been the weakest. That's just cap. Most people understand One Piece has the lowest AP while Bleach has the lowest speed. Okay. One Piece has the lowest AP. And this is where the conversation becomes about subjectivity. What's good, Grid? How you doing, bro? Nice to have you in the chat again. This is where the conversation kind of comes about to be about subjectivity. If we take the best of One Piece's feats and place them against Naruto's feats, Naruto is losing that fight 10 times out of 10. Naruto, the things they do in Naruto, like Sakura being able to punch things and people calling that impressive, people considering that impressive, these are everyday occurrences in both Bleach and One Piece. Your average fishman can pull off Sakura level feats like it's a Tuesday fucking morning. I don't know, Karibo, I really don't know how you can come to the conclusions you come to. I really don't, bro. For example, no, not even for example. If we just start going feat by feat, One Piece is clearing Naruto very badly. You guys don't have an answer to Don Shinjao. You guys don't have an answer to Mihawk raising a glacier like 20 meters off of wherever it was cut. You guys don't have an answer for that. What else do we have? You guys don't have an answer for Dolphy cutting a meteor in half. You guys don't have an answer for Garp punching a ship and using the air pressure to propel the ship through air. If I go down Naruto's feats, it starts with Hashirama and Madara and pretty much stops there. Because everything else would technically be scaling. I haven't even mentioned scaling for One Piece. I haven't mentioned scaling. Those are all just feats. Things that happened. You guys don't have anything on Zoro cutting Pika. Zoro cutting a meteor, mind you, worse than Kenpachi, but he did it with a sword. Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't actually. If I go to Naruto, and mind you, I'm talking AP. I'm not talking Biju bombs and all that other stuff. Because the majority of people in One Piece and Bleach are surviving your Biju bombs very casually. Because the spread is just way too fucking much. It's not gonna do too much to them. I'm not gonna say they might be like unscathed, but it's not gonna be what you think it is. Just because the spread of damage is just too fucking big, bro. It's just too big. So starting with Naruto's feats, what do we have? What do we really have? Like, exclude Biju bombs because we know they exist. We have Madara cutting the tops off multiple mountains with his majestic attire Susanoo. We have Madara by himself cutting the tops off of like 2 to 3 mountains with his perfect Susanoo. We have Toneri cutting the moon in half. Madara's comes out to around mountain level. And no, it's not because he just destroyed a mountain. It's not because he did like that, or it's not because of that. Toneri's, I think the most agreed upon calc is what? Continental, I think. Continental. But then after that, where do your feats go? Couldn't tell you, because we don't know. Something like that. This one heavily depends on how you scale, because if we're using necessary minimums or what we can find to be truth, then in fact Naruto is the slowest bar none. If we're going with every interpretation that everyone uses, and now all of a sudden Laser Circus is light speed and Samurai are doing things at the speed of light, then at that point I would be forced to do the same thing for every other fucking series. Foxy's slow times are light speed. No problem with Kizaru and all his stuff. Sure, why not? We'd have to consider spiritual light speed now because we're making chakra based things light speed. So that one gets a little more fuzzy. I don't even like talking about speed, honestly, just because it's so personal. But yeah. Gear 5 really put One Piece scalers back on the map. You think it took Gear 5 for One Piece to get strong or something? Mind you, Luffy doesn't have any feats in Gear 5. He doesn't have any like scalable, like, mind you, he's done things, yes. I'm sorry, he doesn't have any like calculable feats in Gear 5. Bajrin Gun destroying the island and it's as big as the island isn't impressive. Miss me with that one. He doesn't have any like calculable feats in Gear 5. So unless you're just talking about scaling and that putting them back on the map, maybe. But no, I'm sorry to inform you, One Piece has always been strong. Like, I might joke on One Piece. I joke on One Piece a lot, actually. Especially with my twin brother and Red. Because fuck them niggas. I joke on One Piece. Like, I'll make jokes like, hey, they still use Buster Calls to this day. And a Buster Call doesn't even destroy the island. They have to physically go to the island to destroy it. But now they have Emu and Marijra, and he can just blow up islands by thinking. Or they got satellites and hammers of dawn and shit now. But back in the day, I'd be like, yeah, Buster Call ain't doing shit. Y'all just saw how yesterday I was talking about Sanji being shot with a bullet. Now, as funny as this is and somewhat inconsistent to what One Piece has been showing us, they're still strong. It's a very strong verse. Yo, just woke up. What's good, Seventh? GK. The world starts shaking immediately when the Soul King is removed in the manga. It starts shaking immediately in Core 3. It depends on the anime / manga. Most of them don't scale to their energy, but a dragon, a Bleach, a Sailor Moon, and a hot damn Saint Seiya actually do. Right. Can't believe it's not butter. It's crazy how observation haki is better precog than all of Sharingan. That is crazy. That actually is crazy. Remember, Toneri cutting the moon isn't all that impressive when the moon itself was hollow inside. That too. But I mean, so the continental calc comes from the moon being hollow itself. So yeah, that was already factored in. Laugh my ass off. You're going to get a call. That's crazy, bro. I ain't even say nothing bad. You probably just got to the stream late. That's crazy. There's no statement for Laser Circus being light speed. You keep trying to use it for your settle. All right, so here's the thing, Karibo. What I'm addressing when I say that, bro, is other people's arguments I've heard. If you don't consider Laser Circus light speed, fine. It really doesn't matter because Light Fang exists. Is that supposed to be a one-up? Is that supposed to change my mind about something? Light Fang exists. The stupid ass samurai doing light speed slashes exist. It's still chakra. What do you want? It's still chakra. So I'm not the person that introduced light fucking Laser Circus being light speed. I'd never say something so stupid. I'm only repeating the things I've heard other Naruto scalers repeat. The things they've tried to use to debate me. I don't consider it light speed. You're making it seem like I'm trying to use it to help Bleach. I don't care. Don't make it light speed, actually. Do me a favor. One less stupid thing I gotta debunk. Because mind you, we've seen Laser Circus be slower than actual, or be slower than a flash of light. I'm not going to say actual light. We've seen it being slower than a flash of light, for sure. We've seen it match kunai, sand, and fucking wind. We've seen it match Naruto's Rasen Shuriken. None of these things are light speed. At all, ever. So yeah, bro. I'm not trying to incorporate that with whatever you think I have going on. Not doing that. I could care less. I promise you I could. I heard what you said about Sanji and the bullet. Laugh my ass off. Pull up the panel. I dare you. Nah, I will save that. So before we get into Steinixos' video, I did want to look at this. Because this is just like stupidity right here, guys. We're going to look at this real quick. Let me get my drink. Oh. Okay. I've had enough of the cool air. We can turn on the heat. Alright. So, here's the thing. Oh, here we go. Karibo says, Laser Circus is light refracted through water drops, and light changes speed going through different mediums. I don't need an explanation of the technique. All I need to understand is that people are calling it light speed. I'm challenging those claims from those people. If you don't think it's light speed, Karibo, that's fine. That's something we agree on. I'm happy that you don't think it's light speed. This does not excuse every other thing that people in the Naruto community assert to be light speed with no scaling to back it at all. Like, no. Also, yes, Ab-Stract, I will let you know when the first chapter up. No. Not the first chapter. I need a good... Well, how long does it take you to do a chapter, Shinigami? Because I'd want to do like at least 5, like 5. But if it takes you like a super long time and you'd rather I just do one chapter, we can just do that. I don't mind. So here we have this. Hashirama runs the gauntlet. Where's the god of shinobi stopping? You guys already know how I feel about Boro. He's the first person up. I say, can't speak on 2 Blue Vortex villains, but Boro gets shit on. Koji is tough in Sage Mode, but Hash should still take it, and Code gets shit on. Jay Skippity says, none of this is happening. I want you guys to like just listen to this conversation. It's not the most dumb thing I've ever seen, but it's just like, bro, no. I say, don't see why it's not happening, seeing as how Boro can get tagged by every member of Team 7 who also aren't stronger than Hashirama. And the only good thing about him is his virus. Facts. He says most of them are stronger than Hash, especially Kawaki and Boruto. Now, where the fuck did Kawaki and Boruto come in at? Where are they on this list? Why is this being mentioned? Why is it being said? I reply with, I haven't read a single thing they've done in the manga that puts them over Hashirama. How would they handle Hashirama's wood golem or statue, which are comparable, or I like to say comparable, or stronger than Madara's perfect Susanoo, and majestic attire Susanoo, which casually cleaved off mountain heads? He says, by using their most potent jutsus against them. What in the fuck is Kawaki's most potent jutsu? And when are we talking about for Kawaki? What in the fuck is Boruto's most potent jutsu? A Rasengan? Is that it? Like, is that all he has? And then why the fuck would that even matter? Because we're talking about Boro's dumbass. Then he says, we see Jigen and Kaguya being able to just break through Susanos with their raw stats. This is a fucking lie. I don't know why people think I don't watch Naruto, but Kaguya has never broken through a Susanoo with raw stats. She's used Vacuum Fist. She's used Ash Bone. The only person to break through a fucking Susanoo with raw stats has been Jigen. And Boro does not scale to fucking Jigen. So he says, we see Jigen and Kaguya being able to just break through Susanos with their raw stats. Being able to battle, he says, being able to battle Kara members should place them above Hashi Jutsu in general. Now, there's no scaling for this. There's no statement. There's no measurable standard of power for how strong a Kara member is. Mind you, there's no measurable standard of power for how much chakra you have and how much stronger that makes you. So this is all just incorrect. This is just wrong. But this is what the average fucking Naruto fan actually thinks. This is how the average Naruto fan actually debates. I say, why would being able to battle Boro automatically place them above Hashirama when Kara, let alone Boro, hasn't done anything impressive? Jigen is the only person we've seen challenge Susanoo with physicals. Kaguya used jutsu. Boro is in no way comparable to Jigen. Laugh my ass off. He says, they have fought adult Naruto and were made to kill him. That thinks that's pretty obviously above Hashirama. So he's talking about Delta and he's talking about Jigen. They're the only people who have fought Naruto. He's talking about Jigen and Delta. They're the only people who have fought Naruto. And neither one of them scaled to Boro. Or I'm sorry, Boro doesn't scale to either one of them. Fuck your statements. I don't care that Code said, oh, it looks like it'll be me and Boro to handle the Hokage. I do not give a fuck. Code has shown to be a fodder bum. Boro has shown to be a fodder bum. So no. I say this logic is terrible. Nothing you've said so far puts Boro above Hash, nor does Boro have any feats or scaling to Jigen. He says he was made by Amado to kill Naruto. Like, that's supposed to change my goddamn mind. We see Kara members able to fight adult Naruto. Like, that's supposed to change my goddamn mind. Now, prove Hash can scale to Kara members as a whole. That's a... prove Hash can scale... Okay, that's a stupid-ass thing to say. This is how you like get around, not even get around. I'm pretty sure all you would be able to handle something so fucking trivial. Prove Hashi can scale to the Kara members as a whole. Why would I need to? First off, why would I need to do that? Nothing he's done. His only good tool is his virus. And it's debatable if he would land that. So, yeah, like, here's the thing. Literally, just based on his performance with Team 7, Boro's not beating Hebi Sasuke. People have Sarada for some reason beating Hebi Sasuke. Like Sarada, like the one that blitzed Boro, they have her beating Hebi Sasuke. Very weird to me. Very weird to me. They seem to think that just because the word Kara is mentioned, that that's somehow supposed to make them immediately stronger than anyone else that came before. Sorry, that's not how it works in Naruto. As you can see, this bum-ass nigga is able to get blitzed, tagged, and injured by every member of the new Team 7. None of them have defeats to suggest they're above Hashirama, let alone Naruto, let alone fucking Hashirama. So yeah, why would I need to do that when we can just look at Boro in his terrible showing against the new Team 7? Nothing he's done suggests he could beat Hashirama. His only good tool is his virus, and it's debatable if he would land that. He's not fast. Has bad AP. And isn't durable. Like at all. So, to answer the question, though, how far does Hashirama actually get on this list? Now, it really depends on how fast you think Kashin Koji is. But even then, with Kashin Koji debatably being faster, let's just give him he's faster than Hashirama. Is that enough to really beat Hashirama? I do not think it is. We've only seen a nerfed version of Hashirama our entire perspective of him has only been that of a nerfed version of him. We've never seen the man at full power. Much like Yamamoto. He has deep force emergence, deep force bloom. All these things will work on Kashin Koji. Kashin Koji's best weapon is what? Fire style? His best weapon is fire style, and Hashirama grew up fighting the most powerful fire style user of his time, Madara. I'm not understanding how Kashin Koji actually wins, if he can win. Because they both have Sage Mode, And I would say Hashirama is the better sage, being that he can stand still continuously and just leech off of nature energy, while Kashin Kojin has to use clones, and he'll have to, like, don't get me wrong, he can get into sage mode, sure, but it won't be lasting longer than Hashirama's. I don't think he has the healing factor like Hashirama's. Yeah, and then Hashirama has the great deity gates he can use on toads and stuff. I don't know how Kashin Koji's winning this fight. Then we get to this bum ass nigga Code. Now, while Code will probably heavily outstat Hashirama, I don't think Code is smart enough to beat Hashirama. I don't think Code can outlast Hashirama. Hashirama will be using wood clones. Code can get beat by Deep Forest Bloom. Hashirama knows Infinite Darkness Jutsu. We haven't even seen a fucking Genjutsu in Boruto, so I don't even think Code knows what the fuck Infinite Darkness Jutsu. I don't think Code knows what Genjutsu is. We literally haven't seen one in Boruto yet, like a real one. So he gets past all three of these fucking niggas. Then we have the Senju people. I'm sorry, we have the Divine Trees, aka the Divine Trees. Yeah, I don't know any of them. All I know is that people have been sucking Jorah's dick since he got here. Don't know any of them, though. But that pretty much sums up what I've been going through with these Naruto fans. He was made by Amado to kill Naruto. Okay. Android 19 was made by Jiro to kill Goku. And he lost to Vegeta. Do we see how being made by someone just to kill someone doesn't mean you can actually fucking beat them? Stupid shit. Alright, where we at? But I can send the first volume with the chapters. Wait, chat. How many chapters are in a volume? Bleach at 7. I really don't know. Shinigami, it depends on the author. Some volumes have more and some have significantly less. Ab-Stract said 5 chapters, right? Yeah. 5 chapters would be good. Then we could read it weekly. I think the smallest volume I've personally seen was like 3 chapters, but I think many years ago I saw one volume be 1 chapter, but it was under specific conditions. Hashirama should be able to smash Boro's core on accident with the golem. If he tries to fight him hand to hand, the virus is a problem. Yeah, but Hashirama is not an idiot either. And Boro's more than likely, here's the thing. Hashirama can just spam wood clones. He can just, he doesn't have to get near Boro. Boro has to push the issue. Boro has to do all of the legwork. Hashirama does this, stands in one place, and literally does that until Boro presses him. That's literally it. And the virus, okay, so what if it's a wood clone that gets hit by the virus? Then Hashirama knows it's a fucking virus because the wood clone dies. He gets all the information. He knows it's a virus. Then he just knows he can't get near him. He's really not hard to beat. Limited Code was compared to Naruto and Sasuke 1v1. Limited Code did fight Boruto and Kawaki. He was getting beat when they pulled out Karma. Yeah, Code is shit. Code is not good. Make all the excuses you want for him. He's just not good. That's like saying Kiba jumped to Obito levels because he was part of the bird-formed Kurama chakra that was attacking Obito and Madara on top of the Ten Tails. Exactly, bro. What are we talking about? So are we supposed to ignore that Eggman created Silver Sonic to battle Sonic and Sonic washed it easily? Are we supposed to ignore that Syndrome created the first Permadroid and it got destroyed by Mr. Incredible? Are we supposed to? But he created it to kill him, so it must work because he did it for that express purpose of killing him. Fuck out of here. Like, this be my general problem with the Naruto community. They don't even understand their own fucking scaling. Oh, Naruto, the story is progressing, so that means the villains have to be getting stronger. No, the fuck it doesn't, dummies. No, it doesn't. And if we are going to say people are getting stronger, show me a feat. What's crazy is Naruto has the most room to grow in terms of feats. Because they still don't have an air pressure feat with very low volume. Right? They still don't have an air pressure feat. They don't have a what's it called? What am I thinking of? Or I think I wanted to do that in two ways. My fault. Let me rephrase this. They don't have an air pressure feat with very low volume, meaning like the size of a fist or a sword or a kick or a punch or something like that. They don't have one. And then, oh yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Different levels of that. Yeah, they don't have an air pressure feat of fragmentation. They don't have an air pressure feat of violent fragmentation. They most certainly don't have an air pressure feat of vaporization or pulverization. So, like, they have a lot of room to expand. It's just they don't do shit. Everything has to be the biggest Rasengan we've ever seen. Everything has to be the biggest Biju bomb we've ever seen. But, oh, this is Boruto, so let's tone down the feats. Let's tone down the explosions and let's have them all fight and be strong. But here's the thing with them turning up the physicals. You're 5 years too late. No, I'm sorry. You're actually like 10. You're 10 years too late. Literally every verse has good physicals. You guys are just now getting physicals? And then not even everybody, just like what? The robots and the Otsutsuki? So the verse really hasn't changed. Because the ninja are still weak. We just have new villains from a different origin. Robots and Otsutsuki. Very wild. Sarada is a beast. She can be a beast all she wants. She's not beating heavy Sasuke. Like, the Sarada that fought Boro is not beating any version of teen Sasuke. People are out of their fucking minds. She can be a beast all she wants in her own rights. She doesn't have a single feat in that manga that puts her above Naruto when he just got back from the village. Not a single one. This is the problem with Boruto, though. This is the problem with Boruto. People assume just because, oh, they're fighting Naruto in his KCM form. And mind you, not everyone fought Naruto in his fucking KCM form. Boro did not fight Naruto in his KCM form. Kawaki said the scariest thing about Boro, or no, Kawaki intimated that Boro might be scarier than Jigen only because of his bullshit virus. When it came to actually fighting him, they were doing very well. Shall we go back and read that chapter together? They were shitting on Boro. It wasn't hard. There's a reason Shikamaru wasn't allowed to go with them. They would have no-diffed him at all. Only person respectable on this fucking list is Kashin Koji. Because he eked the win out of Jigen. He did. So yeah, it really just pisses me off, Naruto fans not knowing their own goddamn series. Very annoying. Alright, where we at? Kawaki, Boruto, and Sarada having stats comparable to the guy who narratively stands at the top of the world because you decide to not contextualize statements is really stupid. Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing. Mangaka aren't scalers. They're interested in telling a good story. So if plot demands that Kawaki, Boruto, and Sarada are somehow on KCM 2 Naruto's level, then there you fucking go. There they are. Right dab smack in the middle. But guess what? For scaling and for calcing, for power scaling that is, it hurts the series. Because we now get to say, well, hold up. If the kids are now on Naruto's level and the kids don't have any feats to show, suggest, or intimate that they can box at this level, but yet they're doing it, what the fuck does that mean for the people that Naruto are fighting? I've even heard a theory that the series stagnated. One I'm not too partial on. It would make sense. Yeah. The series stagnated. And everyone is just quote unquote, stated to be stronger. Oh, Code without his limiters, he's stronger than Jigen. Oh, don't release Damon, he's stronger than Ishiki. Oh, well, me and Boro, you failed, Delta. I guess it's me and Boro to take down the Hokage. He got taken down by fucking kids, bro. What did you expect him to do in Naruto? Aside, maybe get his virus on him. And then we go back to bullshit in Naruto about different ways is how you're strong now. Boro is not a good ninja. He's not a ninja. He's not a ninja. He's not a good combatant at all. The scariest thing about him was his regeneration in his virus. If you can stay away from his virus, he is literally fodder. As seen when he got beat by Mitsuki, Mitsuki, Sarada, Boruto, and Kawaki. And mind you, Kawaki and Boruto didn't even jump straight to their karmas. They just straight up blitzed him. It was sad. They just straight up blitzed him. Mind you, this is their first real fight against a Kara member. Allegedly the same level of the person that fought KCM Naruto. So am I to believe that the four of them working together can beat KCM Naruto just because they beat Boro? This dumb motherfucker is going to say, prove Hashi can scale to Kara members as a whole. Why the fuck would I ever need to do that, you dumb motherfucker? Prove Hashi can scale to Kara members. Kara members don't scale to Kara members, dummy. Boro don't scale to fucking Delta. Delta don't scale to Ishiki. Kashin Koji just popped into sage mode like it was nothing. No clone or meditation required. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And it was good. It was good. I don't know if it'll be enough to beat Hashirama, who can continuously stay in sage mode as long as he wants and can fight on top of his structures. So far, Hashirama is still a hard knight in Boruto. He's still a hard knight. The only people getting him out of here are Jigen. Yeah, actually, just Jigen and Damon at this point. I don't even have full faith in Naruto/Sasuke to beat him completely. Mind you, Sasuke's best Susanoo feat is slicing a meteor. He hasn't trumped that yet. You can argue he got stronger as he got older, but he hasn't had a feat that actually trumps slicing a meteor in half. With his Susanoo, that is. Crazy how we still don't know what type of sage mode Hashirama uses. I'm not too keen on finding out. Yours truly, Highness, has entered the chat. Yo, how you doing, love? Oh, good, because that's when the first major fight happens and we get enough of the world. Wonderful. Hell, we don't know how Hashirama immediately knew the creature the Ten Tails made were fisher beings. Like, huh? What did he deal with to know that? Good question. Kashin Koji's sage punctures were causing fire with every strike. Yeah, that's fine. The thing is, there's no scale. There's no, like, okay, cool. They were causing fire with every strike. How much damage were they doing? What's the AP of it? What would it vaporize rock on content? Would it vaporize steel on content? What would it do? We don't see anything. All we see is Kashin Koji get crushed by like pillars, a regular pillar at that. Hashirama's eating that shit up all day. Wait, you guys already watched the internal damage video from Steinixos. We have not watched the video yet. I've been yapping about this gauntlet. We have not watched the video yet. We're going to get into the video probably around 9 o'clock. Limited code could probably do something with a well-placed claw mark. Limited code could probably do something with a well-placed claw mark. He hasn't did a well-placed claw mark since I've seen him. He's either not capitalized on it or it just hasn't been a good claw mark place. He's proven to be pretty incompetent and just a Otsutsuki muncher, pretty much. Yo, what's good, Ig? How you doing, bro? You late? Hey, all good, bro. We haven't started yet. So at best, he's 6-gate guy, Karibo. No. At best. Oh, you mean, well, if you're talking about Kashin Koji was able to box with Jigen. This is good. This is impressive. He's going to be the hardest fight. I still think he loses, but he's the hardest fight. Boro was able to box with kids and lost officially. What's the topic? I'm just ranting about this. Gauntlet. You can start at the beginning where I had this conversation with this guy here. His points are very bad. And there's nothing really of substance he says. He just really thinks Hashirama loses because, oh, well, he's fighting a Kara member. And the Kara members are all as strong as Jigen, apparently. Is what I'm getting from him. Naruto slander. I love to see it. Kashin. Okay, Kashin. Yeah. Boruto reduces DC. That's all. Yeah. It does reduce DC. Well, yeah. See, yeah. But that's the thing. You kind of need DC. And don't let that trick you. Do not let me saying you need DC to trick you. You do need DC. You just need it with a small degree of AoE. That's all we need. DC is not bad. Destructive capacity is not bad. It shows us how good a feat is. We just need it in the smallest volume that you can fucking dish out. Hence why I still hold to this day that Sakura has the strongest striking force in the fucking series. For the most part. Like, she might be outdone by Jigen and Ishiki now. But, like, OG Shippuden, she holds that title. We haven't seen anything stronger than it. People still call it impressive. Hashirama is still surprised by it. Oh, she might be stronger than Suna. He's surprised by it. Michael says, what's good? What's good, bro? I was more hinting that he's probably some kind of flame sage mode than a toad sage. His toads are scientific nature tools. And recently became a burn victim because the latest One Piece chapters have been fire. Oh, that's fire, Michael. That's fire. That was dope. Dang. You will know everything is ready when I drop chapter covers, then eventually the volume cover. Got you, bro. Got you. Haven't watched the vid because Ab-Stract got a 20 from Oda. Ab-Stract got a 20 from Oda. Hey, Nick, you need to expound on that. I don't know what that means. Expound on that. Kashin Koji getting dropped off by that pillar is such a weird anti-feat. An assistant should have told Ikimoto he wasn't cooking that with that. Listen, bro. Grid. I hate to be the one to tell you, Grid, but Ikimoto was just being consistent. He was just being consistent. That's literally all that was going on. Mind you, first thing I said was, this does not surprise me. If it surprises you, you may have misunderstood how Naruto handles durability. The only person we've seen take significant damage that isn't an Otsutsuki or a fucking robot, and even they're questionable, is Naruto, the main fucking character. Naruto, the main character of the show, is the only person we've seen take significant damage. And it's not like he's not affected. He just does it a little bit better than everyone else. It would probably vaporize tungsten. There's harder metal materials in Naruto like heroes and staff. Where would you get it could vaporize tungsten? Where would you get that? Let's hear the logic train behind it vaporizing tungsten. Physical strength will always go to Sakura till feats give to show otherwise. Yeah. Yeah. Ab-Stract going to see the drawing. Sorry, just excited to get reaction because putting a lot of effort on this. Oh. Are you talking about... I think you did send me something here. Yes. Well, I don't know if you want me showing these on live. Shinigami, my fault. I don't know if you want me showing these on live. Let me know. Let me know, because I can go down the thing you've sent me. Sakura does not have the strongest striking force in Naruto. We talking a total of 6 different drawings once complete. Gotcha. She punches one of Madara's limbo clones and does no damage while Team Six Paths Naruto is brushing their arms with his strikes. I don't know if that's fair though, Grid. She doesn't do any damage because she literally can't interact with them. Like, it's a one-way interaction with them. She literally can't do any damage. Naruto, on the other hand, has the ability to grab them, apparently, hold them, and affect them, and box with them. I don't like. It's kind of unfair, and that would still go more to hacks than anything. I kept the Naruto-verse around the planetary range because the Boruto-verse have literally 0 feats and no confirmed multipliers. Oh wow, yeah, I forgot about that. We haven't even talked. We haven't even. Well, no. Okay, so yeah, you're right. You're right. It doesn't have any confirmed multipliers. You're right. That statement is true. That statement is true. That statement is true. The speed at which Ishiki regrows objects should be taken into account. Mass times acceleration and all that. I mean, like, is it coming harder and faster than a meteor being dropped? If not, then we can miss me with that. I wouldn't mind. Go on. Okay, got you. I want to get chat's reaction as well. Yuha wipes his ass with One Piece in Naruto. Yeah, Yuha does. Yuha does. We'll see what Emu gets up to once he/she gets revealed. But okay. Now, yeah, she reminds me of Jackie Tristan. She does. And I'm not mad at that. We got the little shadow, I think. Unless she peed herself. But no, this should be shadow, I guess. Then we have the background coming together. This tree looks like it has a mouth. Unless that's like a monster or grass or something like that. But very nice. Then it's coming together even more. All right, so she's either training around a volcano, a forest, or a different dimension. Oh, and the outfit changed kind of. I like that. Little sash on her leg. This is fire. This reminds me of some Mortal Kombat attire. And then the last one back with the shoes and stuff like that. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, Shinigami. Okay, let's get into what we came to see. Where are we at? Oh yeah, I think it's in my history because I was playing it while I was sleeping or something like that. INTRNAO. There we go.
And Doug.
Alright.
Okay, here's what you want to do.
To just tune out everything I'm about.
Alright. We're going to get into the chat one last time, then we're going to start the video. Okay. If we're doing Steinixos content, are we going to react to his Magellan versus Mayuri vid? Mayuri? He did Magellan versus Mayuri? Hold up.
Hey guys,
Steinixos here. So today we'll be going over Luffy's
up.
full journey
Did
to
he?
Emperor status to figure out
The attack potency problem, the power scaling problem, the gear 5 problem, unrestricted. Is Luffy weak to sharp attacks, the rumbling, unrestricted devil fruit, sneaker, unrestricted. I don't see any versus battles down here yet. Yeah, I don't see any versus battles here, Michael. Crossverse battle.
Hey guys, Steinixos here. So today we'll be
Monkey D. Luffy versus Naruto. Jinbei versus Kisame. Could Gear 5 beat the Hokage? Gojo versus Traff. And Dante Zagratis versus Rima and Sukuna. And he has one video unavailable. So it might be the unavailable video. It might be a paid video too. We can talk about Magellan versus Mayuri. We can talk about that.
to just tune out everything
Oh no,
I'm
why'd I
about.
do that? Don't give me an
Just
ad,
tune
please.
out
All right,
everything.
cool. All right. Shinigami, I'm an artist myself, but I would like to know how long you've been drawing before I give you my opinion. Jigen kicked through constructs that eat meteors for breakfast, so Ishiki hitting harder than that shouldn't be surprising. No, that's not really how it works. I always tell you, Jigen challenged but a small fraction of the total energy or durability of the Susanoo. A very small area. Literally where Sasuke was. He didn't charge, it's not like he broke through the arm and the head and the arm and the leg of it and the whole thing. He didn't do that. I've been doing digital drawing very recently. What about traditional drawing? Also, she swung her sword and the mountains were pulverized with air pressure. Oh, that's what was going on. Okay. Traditional Kai for a few years. But this is where I focus a lot, getting more formal advice and training. Forgot to mention, I find it funny how these Otsutsuki still get stronger by absorbing chakra from planets that barely have any life on it at all. Oh, LOL. Yeah, they absorb all this chakra just to come to Earth and be like stalemated by Naruto and Sasuke. It's really weird. This is chakra versus. All right, we like Stein, we like Eon, we like Aizen's World, we like Shonen Cone, we like. Who else do I like? I'm gonna stop there. We like those guys. There's someone else I like too. I think Professor Fiction. I like Professor Fiction. I like him. He does his work. So yeah, no Steinix slander. We won't be doing that. I ask these questions because some folks get discouraged from what older artists say when they don't mean it negatively. Genes from the dead. Nah, Ab-Stract. Unless it's Bleach, no name characters, leave my verse alone. I got you. That's hilarious. From what I see of this picture, Shirigami, you know what you're trying to convey, which is good. But I will say the lines do need work, but that's normal. Shading would be the same. Okay, let's get into the video. This is the internal destruction problem. I'm excited to see what he has to say about this.
Hey guys.
All right,
Steinixos
volume
here.
check,
So
volume
today,
check. How we doing?
Talking about the internal destruction.
I'm going to pause it, then rewind it. You guys give me a volume check. Let me know if it's good. Let me know if it's bad. Should I turn it up? Should I turn it down? Let me turn it up for you guys. Because I forgot the other day we were listening to the music.
Hey guys, Steinixos here. So today, we'll be talking about the internal.
Yeah. The problem is, one smart is that you would have to prove other living organisms was on those planets. This is where I am. This is where right now for. This is where I am right now for real. I'm truly focusing on hatching and shading. My name wasn't in it. Your name wasn't in it. We also like Wi-Fi. Hey, I like Wi-Fi too. Don't beat me up over the Wi-Fi. I can't control it. Is the volume good, guys? I'm still waiting. Is the volume good? Let me know. The power scaling problem. Did I watch that? I might have. Why? Audio good, audio bad? I'm not hearing nothing, guys. Come on. Am I freezing? Oh no. But I see myself clearly. How am I freezing? Hey, I like Wi-Fi too. Wait, am I freezing or am I good? Michael said, yep. Audio cutting out too? Shit. Alright. It's okay. It's okay. I get it. It's okay. This doesn't have to be a video night. It's fine. We can just yap. I don't mind yapping. I'm a yapper. I yap. Let's see if we can find more things to discuss. Is there anything to discuss? Oh gosh. Oh, you refreshed? Okay, I'm good. All right, because I do want to watch the video. Not going to lie. I didn't really have too much planned for tonight, except for the video. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and try and watch it as best we can. And you know what? Yeah, no, we're just going to try and watch it. If you guys are having connection issues or if I'm lagging, just come in and come out. Yeah, guys, just come in and come out if you're having issues with the lag or Wi-Fi or whatever.
Hey guys, Steinixos here. So today, we'll be talking about the internal destruction problem. Now, before I even dive into what that means, I want to give you a heads up. This discussion is going to upset quite a few people, and that's because, by the very nature of this topic, I'm going to make the case that One Piece characters are far more powerful than most of you probably think. Now, for those of you who've been following my channel for a while, I'm sure this warning seems a little silly, because I've always argued that One Piece characters are far stronger than people generally give them credit for. But this time, it's different. This time, I'm about to do something a little sacrilegious in the power scaling community. That is, due to the nature of this topic, I'm going to be putting metal block level Luffy and the poster child of power scaling, Goku, in the same sentence. And I'm going to explain why, unironically, that the odds might actually be more in Luffy's favor than you realize. Now, with that out in the open...
You overstep, Steinixos. How dare you put Luffy and One Piece and Dragon Ball Z in the same sentence? The council does not approve of you doing this. I, Ab-Stract, first of his name, king among kings, scaler among scalers, do not forbid ye to put Luffy against Goku. Know your place, pirate scum.
If you want to just tune out everything I'm about to say and go straight to the comments to call me biased, feel free. But for those of you who are interested in the discussion, let's dive into it. Now, as a prelude to this discussion, you need to understand that One Piece is a notoriously difficult series to properly power scale, and that's because Oda consistently goes in the opposite direction of the typical straightforward power scaling route.
What did I just get? What did I literally just get finished saying? Not even 20 minutes ago and like all day yesterday. What did I just get done saying? It's inconsistent, but it's okay because it's one piece. Straightforward power scaling route, the direction Oda takes. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
It goes in the opposite direction of the typical straightforward power scaling route. What do I mean by that? Well, for most people, destructive capacity, basically how big of an area a character can destroy, is the easiest way to gauge strength. That's why series like Dragon Ball are often...
See, and this is why I kind of said before, don't let destructive capacity fool you. DC, like, yes, the poster boy for DC is how much you can destroy, how much you blew up. But it's more so what is being destroyed. To what degree, and then to what degree of AoE. Literally, you get DC from anything that has been destroyed, right? If you drop a fucking grenade in sand and it explodes the sand and now all the sand is moved and now there's whatever, that's the DC of the explosion of that grenade. If I put a hole in the wall with my fist has made DC. It's not always this grandiose big boom explosion thing. That's not always what it is.
often seen as the gold standard in power scaling. Characters in Dragon Ball casually blow up planets. Even early on in the series, you had Piccolo casually destroy the moon. So even if someone knows nothing about power scaling, those kinds of feats make it really easy to associate a high level of strength with those characters. That's why you'll often hear casual fans say, there's no way One Piece characters could ever stand a chance against characters from something like Naruto. I mean, for that kind of large-scale destruction. And this is exactly why some people look at Bajrangan scale destruction. And this is exactly why some people look at Bajrangan and...
But what did I just get through saying? It doesn't need to. And especially if you go as deep as I do and you realize that they don't even scale to the shit that they're doing. They're really glass cannons. Luffy would punch Naruto in his fucking chest and cave that shit in. Zoro is cutting off Momoshiki's head before he... Even after he finishes eating Kinshiki, Zoro is cutting that nigga's head off. And it's coming off.
say, well, it's probably Island. No, if you're...
Now that one is actually kind of true, not gonna lie. That unironically, that is the exact example we use for bad AP feats. It is. Like the go-to example is if you throw a mountain at a mountain, if you destroy a mountain with something the size of a mountain, is it really mountain level? No. Per cubic square centimeter, it would be a lot smaller than mountain level. Mind you, you had the AoE to do it, but the AoE could have been as little as rock level to get through what you're punching because it was big enough to do so. So that is actually funny. But here's the thing, even with that, the scaling would get Bajrangan higher, not the calc. It would just calc unimpressive, but it would probably scale pretty good.
Someone who's not just a casual fan and you've spent a bit more time in the power scaling community, then you're probably familiar with the concept of attack potency. That's the idea that an attack doesn't have to be large in area to be strong. If you're not familiar with that concept, by the way,
notice how we use Bleach as the standard and example for attack potency.
if you're someone who's not just a casual fan and you've spent a bit more time in the power scaling community, then you're probably familiar with the concept of attack potency. That's the idea that an attack...
Very good feat, by the way. One I'll be using in the Toshido versus Kakashi video. Now, mind you, I'm going to just say this now. I'm downplaying. I'm downplaying everything to be as accurate and consistent as possible. But a very good feat here.
Doesn't have to be large in area to be strong. If you're not familiar with that concept, by the way, I have a video explaining it. But once you understand that a small area of effect doesn't automatically mean low power, you've already cleared the first hurdle that most casual fans never get past. You start to realize, okay, maybe it's not that One Piece characters are weak. Maybe Oda just chooses to emphasize precision and attack potency over raw, flashy destruction. And we know this is true because even early in the series, Oda makes it clear through characters like Bankai that a powerful attack isn't just about causing wanton destruction. A truly strong technique is one with specific focus, something that destroys only what it's meant to. That's a core philosophy in One Piece. So good on you if you've made it to that level of understanding. But keep in mind, casual fans, who make up the vast majority of any fandom, don't get that. And because of that, about 95% of people will always default to thinking One Piece characters are weak until they see someone blow up a moon or a planet. But even if you do understand the concept of attack potency, there's still a problem, and that is, the most common way to scale attack potency is still through destructive feats. For example, because Piccolo destroyed the moon, anyone who can tank his attack must be at least moon level in durability, and anyone who can damage that person must have at least moon level attack potency.
If we're talking about Dragon Ball Z, yes. Every other series, a statement like that would need to be qualified. Every other series, a statement like that would need to be qualified. Because we have to investigate the energy system and everything about it. Like when I get into New Age Exorcist, like really get into it, and we start getting feats and stuff, I'm going to have to do a very judicious review of how the power system works, how it operates. Is it an energy source they can pull from? Is it an energy source that they generate themselves that they can actually scale to? Is it like chakra, where it can just be used to increase stats? I'm going to have to do all that stuff. This works for Dragon Ball Z. There was something else he said I wanted to go back to too.
Characters are weak until they see someone blow up a moon or a planet. But even if you do understand the concept of attack potency, there's still a problem, and that is, the most common way to scale attack potency is still through destructive feats. For example.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah. So that's not incorrect. That's very true. I just want to point out that you can only get scaling from character to character from calcs and things we can observe and things we can visually see being destroyed or affected via that person's energy, power, whatever. So there will always need to be a feat first. A calc. Something we can tangibly get, put a number to say, okay, cool, the punch was this strong. Then we can say, oh, this person can survive that punch, kind of like he was doing with the whole Piccolo thing. But there will always need to be an actual feat first, something we can calc. Then the scaling comes later. He scales to this because he can survive that. She scales to this because she fought her and she can survive that. It can get crazy, and I don't always do it depending on who we're talking about. But for the most part, if the energy system scales with the people, it should be fine. We're only 3 minutes in. Let me read chat real quick. All right. I asked the question because some folks get discouraged. Okay, I already read that. From what I see, the picture of Shinigami. Okay, I already read that. Okay, I already read that. Audio is good. Audio is good. Nice. Nice. All good. Nice. Yes, volume is melodic. That's hilarious. I refreshed. You're all good. Okay, cool. You should watch Steinixos' video about creation ability. I've seen that video. I agree with him 100%. It's a video. It's very funny. Steinixos has made 2 videos that I was going to make, but he already made them and he did them so well. I was like, I don't even need to make a video on it. One of them was the creation video, and then the other one was the power system video, haki versus chakra versus reiatsu. It's basically why I don't equalize power systems. That's what he did. I think Eon did a video of that too. Yeah, I don't know if he's cooking with this one. Take bro out of the kitchen and lock him up. That's crazy. Give him a chance, y'all. Hey, what's good, Sylvie? I guess maybe Goku might not have strictly impressive internal feats, but with how much stronger he is regardless, I fail to see how AP from Luffy could do anything to him. What's being discussed here? Well, I did a whole rant in the beginning if you want to go back and watch that on your own time, but we're just watching Steinixos' video of the internal destruction problem. At the basis of the video is that stats do not in any way correlate to hacks resistance. I'm fully on board. So we have to be careful about stats in resistances grid. We have to be careful about that. Damn, Ab-Stract's forehead distorting the stream. Hey, Shinigami, watch it. One smart. You have to prove that it's probable. So far, your probability is just an assumption. Okay, who is winning? Lore accurate, Buggy, or Sasuke? I don't. Sasuke. I'm sorry, no, Buggy. Sadly, probably Sasuke. Agreed about qualifying other verse for that statement. True. Damn, Ab-Stract breaking down my power system. Ignil, as far as AP/durability scan your fairy tale, should differences/increases in magic power translate to a linear difference/increase in durability? Ooh, that's a great question, Michael. Inverse scaling doesn't need hard numbers, but with crossverse, they are needed to know how much stronger they are than each other. No, inverse scaling does need hard numbers, or else you get things like Madara cut the tips off of a mountain. Oh, no. Or else we get things like Madara spread the god tree's roots around the planet, therefore fucking planetary. You get shit like the Jubi looks like it's becoming its own planet, therefore planetary. You get dumb shit like that when you don't get calcs. One Piece is an odd verse to scale, specifically if we are talking about top tier. Yeah, it's an odd verse to scale, man. And this is why, like, I always say the things I say about it. Don't get me wrong. I hold One Piece in high regard. It's just really, really funny. The inconsistencies in One Piece are probably the funniest. Because kind of like Steinixos said, linear power scaling will go in this direction. Oda will just take the back road or some shit. Let's get into it.
Because Piccolo destroyed the moon, anyone who can tank his attack must be at least moon level in durability, and anyone who can damage that person must have at least moon level attack potency. So even if you get that area of effect, doesn't necessarily tell us the full picture of the strength of a single attack or character. It's
same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
It still remains that destructive feats are still one of the main ways we scale characters to certain attack potency as a whole. So again, even on a more sophisticated level of analysis, it's not necessarily wrong when people say One Piece characters are weaker than Naruto characters, because One Piece just doesn't have those same high-end destructive showings. But here's where we get into an even more advanced level of power scaling, where we realize that destructive feats aren't the only way to scale attack potency. So, one of the other major tools is something called multipliers. Take Bleach for example. In that series, we're told directly that Bankai is a 5 to...
I'm sorry. Are we using Bleach as an example again? See, over in the Soul Society, we kind of got it all, right? Decent speed feats, good AP feats, good air pressure feats, vaporization feats. The best hacks you'll ever fucking know. Yeah. We kind of do everything over here. Go have a seat.
10 times strength multiplier. So if someone is powerful in their base form, when they activate Bankai they get massively stronger. Take Kenpachi, who was able to cut through a meteor in Shikai form. That feat has been calculated to be around 113 exatons, or moon level. So, with Bankai being a 10 times multiplier, we know that Bankai Kenpachi reaches small planetary levels of attack potency, even if he never directly destroys a planet. And that's
Steinixos said it, not me. Kenpachi small planetary.
the power of multipliers. But of course, this is where Oda throws another wrench into everything, because unlike Bleach, where Bankai, which is one of the main power system, is given a clear multiplier by Kubo, Oda on the other hand is almost never that explicit. Take Haki for instance, one of One Piece's main power systems. It obviously scales with how strong a character is. And we have seen things like a completely ordinary arrow covered in haki from a random side character is shattering rocks and the ground beneath it, making it obviously a significant multiplier. However, Oda never actually gives us a value. Even with something as crucial as Luffy's gears, Oda never outright tells us the multipliers. Now, if you've seen my video on how strong Gear 5 Luffy is, then you'll know there are tons of contextual clues that point towards specific minimum multiplier values. But again, because Oda Oda doesn't hand us specific numbers. A lot of people just refuse to accept any values that get proposed, no matter how supported they are. And even when Oda does give us hard numbers, like with
Alright. So I disagree with that. Or my fault. I should say I agree with him. I disagree with the idea that just because a series doesn't give multipliers, a necessary minimum can't be found. But hence the beauty of AAAP fucking scaling. Shout out to Zalius, man, because he really created something fucking crazy. When you're going for the necessary minimums, even though something doesn't have a definitive number, through certain feats and through certain interactions of how the ability works, through what we see, we can determine the necessary minimum. For example, the Hollow doesn't have a set multiplier, right? We know the Bankai, and as he said, the Shigaraki is a 5 to 10 times boost. Cool. We know a Resurrection is comparable to a Bankai. Cool. It puts the Hollow Mask, though, in a weird spot because we never get a minimum for it. But through the feats and interactions of the Hollow Mask and who we see Ichigo go up against and how it interacts with people, we can definitively declare it's, and I'll say this. The Hollow Mask, from what I've been seeing, guys, it's actually at minimum a 5 times boost, not a 2 times boost. His Hollow Mask. It's looking more like a 5 times amp, not a 2 times amp. But I'll formally introduce all that stuff once I get it broken down. That's where I am right now with it, though. It very well may be a 2. Let me get all the research done. But from what I'm seeing, it's looking more like a 5 times amp. It's looking more like a 5 times amp. So I agree with him, and I disagree that people don't take minimums for multipliers that could exist, but not, numbers aren't actually given. I don't, that's some coward stuff. That's just people not wanting other people to be strong.
the energy steroids.
Let me make this clear.
Steroids.
Let me make this clear. I'm aware of Naruto. Sage mode, apparently you get 10 times more chakra. Y'all know how I feel about this, so I'll just cover it now for anyone new to how I fucking think about Naruto. 10 times more chakra is 10 times more energy to do with what you want. It is not 10 times faster. It is not 10 times stronger. It is not 10 times durability. It's 10 times more energy to put in certain stats that you want to amplify. But there are certain sage modes, like Naruto's sage mode has shown a clear increase in durability. I will say that.
On Fishman Island, which double strength with each pill, people still somehow don't accept it. Take Hyuzu for example. Oda tells us he's scarfing down pills, and the anime literally shows him eating an entire plate of them. Yet some fans refuse to believe he took more than 10, just because we weren't given an exact number. As a matter of fact, at the time of making this video, Versus Battle Wiki only credits Yuzu's attack potency and durability with taking only 2 pills. Like, let that sink in. His entire power up for that arc is based on that drug, which has a clearly stated exponential multiplier, and we are told he was scarfing them down like soybeans in the manga, and we see him down a whole plate of them in the anime, so we unequivocally know he took quite a bit of them. But because Oda didn't say the exact number, in the over 10 years since Fishman's Island release, Versus Battle Wiki has only credited him with taking a measly 2 pills. And by the way, just in case you're wondering why I'm using Hyuzu as an example instead of Hody, it's because with Hyuzu, there's no indication he was abusing the drugs long term, so you can't argue tolerance or diminishing returns. he also wasn't injured before fighting Zoro, so you can't say part of the energy went into healing. He got the full effect of the steroids. And yet again, because of lack of exact figures, people just dismiss it. So you can see why it's a nightmare to properly scale One Piece, not only because of the hostile environment created by detractors, but also because Oda himself chooses to focus more on attack potency than destructive capacity, and often avoids giving us the clear quantifiable data that fans in the power scaling community rely on. Now in Wano, Oda scaled up the difficulty of scaling dramatically, and in doing so he made One Piece almost impossible to properly power scale. Why? Because he introduced something game-changing, haki-based internal destruction techniques. You see, in Wano, Oda took his emphasis on effective attack potency to a whole new level. He introduced a refined version of haki, where the energy doesn't just strike the outside of an opponent, it actually goes inside and destroys them from within. Now, this is a huge problem for power scaling, because as I've already said, it goes completely against our intuition. You see, if Luffy had to destroy a moon or a planet before he could damage Kaido, then everyone would instantly understand how strong Luffy had become and how insanely durable Kaido is. But instead, in classic Oda fashion, he goes in the opposite direction. He makes the visible area of effect even smaller by having the attack work internally. So when you see Luffy land something like Red Rock and finally hurt Kaido, yes, you can tell he's gotten stronger, because previously he couldn't hurt him at all, but you have no idea just how much stronger he's become. It's completely invisible. And this is especially frustrating because this is one of the biggest power-ups Luffy has received in the entire series. And here's where things get even more complicated. This doesn't just affect Luffy, it impacts the entire verse from a scaling perspective. In fact, I'd argue that traditional power scaling language starts to break down entirely when we talk about this. I mean, there is a term that kind of helps conceptualize it, that is durability negation, but even that falls short. Most people think of durability negation as an all or nothing thing. Like take the Flash for example. He phases his hand into someone's head and pulls out their brain. That's durability negation, sure, but that's not what's happening with internal destruction haki. It's not a clean removal of an organ. It's not instant death. What's happening is far more subtle. It's damage being done from the inside out. A better analogy would be Chain Sumeragi from Kekai Sensen, who phases her hand into someone's chest and can crush their heart directly inside the body. That's much closer to what Luffy is doing with internal destruction haki. So when you saw Luffy hit Kaido in the head with Red Rock and Kaido actually felt it, if all you saw was a normal punch, then you missed the point entirely. Because in that moment, two really important things were happening. Firstly, most of Kaido's normal defenses were being bypassed. You see, usually when someone takes a punch, the outer body, skin, muscle, bone, armor, etc., absorbs the brunt of the impact. That's what protects the internal organs. But Luffy's attack bypassed all of that and went directly to Kaido's brain. Secondly, and this is key, internal organs are naturally much weaker than the external body. That's just basic anatomy. But there are two important reasons for this you need to understand. Firstly, as I explained in my equalization problem video, most power systems have a way to strengthen the body, but this usually only applies to the external body. Secondly, you simply can't train your internal organs the same way you train your skin, muscle, or bones, as for example explicitly explained in both Naruto and One Punch Man. So even someone insanely strong will likely have internal organs that are comparatively vulnerable. So again, not only is Luffy bypassing all of Kaido's natural and trained defenses, he's also hitting parts of Kaido that are inherently weaker, and it gets even crazier. Remember, you can stack internal destruction techniques. Kaido himself tells us that Luffy was combining armament haki internal destruction with Conqueror's haki internal destruction. So, when Gear 5 Luffy punches Kaido in the head in his hybrid form, here's what's happening. Not only is the attack bypassing Kaido's external defense, like his thick dragon scales and any haki armor, but it's directly hitting his brain. And not with just one internal punch. Conceptually, it's like Luffy is using two fists to directly hit Kaido's brain at the same time. One from the power of armament haki, and another one from Conqueror's haki. And we're not even including the effect of Gear 5, which lets Luffy stretch Kaido's body, weakening his durability even further. So once you understand everything we've talked about so far, maybe now you can start to see why I said in the intro that Luffy versus Goku isn't as one-sided as people tend to assume. Because remember, yes, Goku's internal organs are obviously way tougher than a regular human's, but they're not necessarily invincible. In fact, you could argue they're a lot more vulnerable than people realize. We've seen that when Goku isn't actively using ki to protect his body, even his obviously much stronger external body has been hurt by pretty ordinary things, like being scratched by a standard bullet and even completely pierced by what seems to be a regular laser gun. Which is in keeping with Whis' remark that without the external ki protection, even a Saiyan's body becomes much more fragile. So if Luffy can bypass Goku's external ki armor, then Goku might actually be in trouble.
Can internal destruction be blocked with haki?
Right? Now I know. Trust me, I know. This must feel completely blasphemous to hear someone unironically say out loud. Like, Luffy, the guy who can be beaten with a water gun? Hurt multiversal Goku? Absurd. But again, think about it. Just like how, if Saiyans...
You go too far, Steinixos. The council does not grant you the rank of master. You take back those words. Luffy can never hurt Goku. Are you insane or mad? I, Ab-Stract, first of my name, declare this to be so. Pirate.
truly need oxygen to survive, as Vegeta himself implied, then if they run into someone who can manipulate the battlefield and remove oxygen, like Caesar Clown, they're suddenly in serious danger. Even if
Grammy sends all this. Grammy sends every person in Dragon Ball. Grammy sends the same to the void of space. GG. Steinixos said it, not me. Steinixos said battlefield removal. Saiyans cannot survive without oxygen. Grammy can remove all the oxygen from the area. Askin can poison the Saiyans with oxygen. Askin beats all the Saiyans. Steinixos said it, not me. Am I in trouble?
You need to adjust that bullet. Adjust that bullet that hit Goku. Adjust it. You hear me?
I'm listening.
The bullet that scratched Goku, you need to address it. Because it didn't scratch Sanji.
Do I really need to?
I think you should. I think it's fair.
Do you not know what's going on?
Oh shit, nah, I might be lagging. I might be late. I'm watching it live.
No, you're not late. I haven't addressed it. I'm saying, do I really need to break down why the bullet scratched him? I thought he did a pretty good job of explaining it.
Oh, okay, shit. I thought you'd have a different take is all.
No, it's the same take. Mind you, while ki is similar to reiatsu, it's not reiatsu. They don't always have their thing up 100% when they're, you know what I mean? As he just said, I'll break it down right now. As he just said, and as Whis just said, when they're not utilizing ki control, they don't scale to their energy. Hence why he can be injured by lasers and bullets.
Okay, I thought you knew that was the same thing with One Piece though, in terms of utilizing haki. But I don't want to make it an elongated conversation because I know you're on stream. So we'll talk later.
Well, yeah, no. So for the One Piece thing, we like Garp exists. That's the problem. Garp saw the attack coming, got stabbed by Shiryu. Shiryu has no feats to be able to stab Garp. What's going on here? You know, so that's a little different. It's a little different. Like how Steinixos has been perfectly portraying how Oda scales One Piece and how it differs from how normal series are scaled. He'll go the opposite direction. He'll take a different route. That's kind of what's going on.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. No, we'll talk later. I know you're on stream, so go ahead.
All right, got you.
All right.
Ooh, boy, that man Tay. All right, let me see. That's right. Karibo said something. Let me go back and read. Inverse scaling doesn't need hard numbers, but with crossverse they need it. I think I already read that. One Piece, I already read that. Only asking because Kana being able to knock out Brandish strikes me as an argument against magic inherently translating the stats. Ab-Stract, that is still cross-verse application. You don't have to say a tier to understand Momoshiki beats Madara. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, my fault. I get what you're saying, Kariba. Well, actually, no. You actually do for Naruto. Yeah, no. Karibo, you actually do for Naruto. That's not true. You do need to say a tier. Tiers are benchmarks for cross-verse. Yeah, see, but they're also benchmarks for inverse. They're also benchmarks for inverse. Like, you can't tell me just because Naruto now has the Rasen Shuriken that Kakashi still can't kill him with his Raikiri. That you can't tell me that. He didn't get any more powerful from throwing the Rasen Shuriken. He didn't get any more powerful from learning it or creating it. Sasuke or Kakashi could still one-shot him with the Raikiri. Well, maybe not Naruto because he can recover from a punctured lung, but you get what I'm saying. One Piece fans love calc stacking. One Piece fans do love calc stacking. They really do. I don't see any inherent problem with calc stacking correctly, so long as the variables between stacks are consistent. That's true too. That's true too. Arguably the baddest anime waifus. Bleach. Increasing combat ability doesn't equal strength multiplier. Increasing combat ability doesn't equal strength multiplier. I'd need more context around that. Steinixos said it, not me. Facts. That haki arrow did more DC than the Susanoo arrow. It did. It did. That's hilarious. I've said it before. I do not agree with Bankai being a straight AP/speed multiplier. I agree with you, Grid. I think every Bankai should be judged on the merit of the results. I think every Bankai should be judged on the merits of the results. The thing is this. An increase of reiatsu does actually necessitate an increase in stats. With that being said, going Bankai does actually release more reiatsu for not only you, but your Zanpakuto. So while it's weird to say you don't get an AP advantage, you technically do. It's really weird. It really is weird. Because when a Bankai is performed, you're releasing more reiatsu. More reiatsu is actually more stats. That's literally how it works. And I can pull up an innumerable of examples. Probably every example within the series I can pull up. Grid, prove your case. Bleach fans fight tooth and nail for their faulty stat multiplier. They're actually... See, here's the thing. Bleach is probably the most consistent of the big three when it comes to actually power scaling. It really is the most consistent of the big three. Bankai, well, yeah, it all just depends on knowing how to do it. I thought it was obvious that the hollow mask was the same multiplier as a Bankai. No, I wouldn't say it's obvious, and I wouldn't say it's the same multiplier as a Bankai at least. Well, if you're saying Bankai as in 5 to 10 and not a standard 10, then yes. I could agree with that, yes. I personally think the Espada and Hollow Mask are at least 11 times multiplier. Due to people who master Bankai prefer the Espada over normal Bankai. Oh, okay, you're saying due to the captains that mastered Bankai but also have the Hollow Mask, they wear the mask instead of using their Bankai. That's an interesting argument. That's an interesting argument, but it's kind of weird. And here's the thing. Holification is a skill. We don't know if the Vizards can use a Bankai while holified. So far, the only person we've ever seen do that was Kaname Tosen and Ichigo Kurosaki. As far as we know, the Vizards cannot holify and use Bankai. We know they can use Shikai, but like when Rose uses his Bankai on Mask, like why wouldn't he holify? Well, maybe he actually can't do it. Holification is a skill. Rukia loses durability and Soifon loses speed. Wait, Rukia loses durability and Soifon loses speed. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is the cost of her going full power for that limited time. That's true. Soifon loses speed. She doesn't necessarily lose speed, like she's getting slower. She's carrying something heavy. If you want to say that's losing speed, yes, but it's not a direct action of like, oh, it's a debuff now. I have a stat a stat debuff. I'm now slower. That's not what's going on. Basically imploding instead of exploding. Oh, wait, yours truly. I'm sure you got that from my vids, right? Basically imploding instead of exploding, says Kai. Yours truly says, are you they did, or it visually looks like they did? Karibo says, Rukia start cracking, and Soifone literally says her Bankai is clunky. Yes, that's true. She does say her Bankai is clunky, and Rukia, and well, Karibo, you also have to understand, this is a not mastered Bankai Rukia. Thankfully, the series has already told us that if you're using your Bankai and you haven't mastered it, you're likely to get hit with the drawbacks, like Ichigo being crushed by the weight of his Bankai, like Kenpachi like Yachiru releasing too much energy for Kenpachi's Bankai, like Rukia cracking her skin, not being a master of her Bankai. So this isn't new stuff. I'm late. What we doing here? Triple AP scaling. Hey, what's good, Rev? How you doing, bro? Yeah. We're watching Steinixos' video on the internal destruction problem. So far, good video. Steinixos has shown to be a very good. He does his due diligence. There's not a lot I ever disagree with him on. There are some things, but it's very far and few between. He's really good. I know the bullet docked scratcher. I know the bullet didn't scratch your saying. Right, we've been over that. I swear Kid Goku had better durability feats against Bulma's gun. Possibly. He's not wrong, but he's not right either. Bullets scratched Kid Goku. Yeah, that's fine. Caesar Clown beats all the Saiyans. Grammy Thalmu beats all the Saiyans. Askin Naklavar poisons the air and he beats all the Saiyans. What do you mean, LOL? All right. Internal damage can't be blocked with haki. It can't be blocked with haki. Okay. But there is a feat of Kenpachi strengthening his internal organs in the light novels. Just putting it out there. Gotta love when Ab-Stract analyzes my power system. Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. I was talking to a guy who claims there's no time limit where Yuha beats Goku. And Goku would one-tap Soul King Yuha. There's no timeline where that can't be true. If it is the case that the multiverse contains an infinite amount of possibilities and situations and choices, there is multiple timelines where Goku does in fact die to Yuha. Don't care how it happens, don't care how long it takes, don't care the circumstances behind it. If it's possible, there's a reality where Subaru Natsuki beats fucking Goku. And all he has to do is die as many times as he needs to figure out how to do it. I take it that internal destruction could be blocked if it's clashing with someone else's haki attack, i.e. Luffy's and Kaido's clashes damaging neither. I agree with that, Michael. You mean their lack of control is hurting their stats. If it's just defense, then haki might not be an adequate counter to internal destruction, i.e. anytime Luffy's landing a hit on Kaido's torso or Kaido landing blows to Luffy's head. Gotcha. Ab-Stract, I'm not saying they don't get an AP increase. They absolutely do. I'm saying the 5 to 10 times thing shouldn't linearly apply. Okay, yeah. Okay, you mean 5 to 10 times in every stat imaginable. Absolutely agree with you. I agree with that. I absolutely agree. You was ranting about Yamamoto yesterday. Shout his Bankai control. Byakuya straight up said it takes 10 to 100 years to master control. Exactly, bro. Yoruichi says it's an increase in combat ability, which doesn't solely correlate to reiatsu, with a lot of Bankai increasing combat prowess via providing their user with hacks rather than stats. Yeah, it depends, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking a conglomerate of what Yoruichi said to be the case, and what me as a power scaler see to be the case. And what we visually see is that whenever there is a rise in reiatsu, a rise in stats definitely correlates, or is definitely present. And I can damn near name every instance this happens. And even when you look at Ikkaku versus Edrad, which is a really good fight, one of my favorite fights. When you look at Ikkaku versus Edrad, and Ikkaku goes Bankai, mind you, Ikkaku was not able to land a single attack on Edrad in Shikai. Yet Edrad claims all that changed from his Bankai to his Shikai was the destructive capacity. Right? His AP. That's all that changed. It's a big, massive power, is what he says. But what we see during that fight is that Ikkaku is faster. He's landing multiple attacks on Edrad. But Edrad only notes that his Bankai has no special abilities. It doesn't increase his speed, Keto, defense, or nothing. It's just a big, massive power. But then how then, Edrad, is Ikkaku able to tag you several times if it doesn't change anything? Because when he used Hozuki Maru, nothing changed for Ikkaku, that is. Edrad used his Volcanica and got his Resurrection multiplier boost. He's now stronger. He's now faster. He's tapping Ikkaku up and down. It's very clear he's overpowering him in every category. Ikkaku survives Edrad's big attack, goes Bankai. What time is it? Ikkaku survives Edrad's big attack, goes Bankai, and now within his Bankai state. Well, first off, let's analyze this. Edrad says something to the effect of impressive. Then Ikkaku says, I haven't released enough reiatsu to start impressing you yet. We already know reiatsu is correlated to stats. So if he can release more reiatsu, we see where I'm going? If he can release more reiatsu, enough to impress Edrad, it should follow his stats go accordingly. It should. And it would actually explain why Ikkaku is able to damage Edrad and be faster than Edrad than prior. Yuruichi said, oh, okay, I just read that. Rukia 100 years from now will not have durability issues with going Bankai. Hey, bro, when we see her in the new Hell arc, she might not have issues after this 10 years, bro. Honestly. But yeah, that's only an issue, Karibo, because she literally just did her Bankai like for the first fucking time. Yuha would dog walk Goku. To be honest, yeah, Yuha would. Nobody is ready for that convo. Ab-Stract, don't forget Ikkaku versus Shishigawara is literally showing Ikkaku's durability being bypassed by Shisu, just like haki. And Ikkaku was just chilling. I don't want to say that was his durability being bypassed. See, here's the thing with Shishigawara. He's like Jinx from Teen Titans. Or Domino from the the mutants, whatever. His ability causes luck, probability manipulation. No matter how strong he is, independent of how strong he is, whatever his intent is, his jackpot ability will make that happen. So him wanting to knock down trees. Don't say Shishigawari's tree level. He just knocked down trees. Well, he also busted Ikkaku's fucking shoulder. The same Ikkaku that tanked Edrad's best attack. Right? So I wouldn't say it's durability negation. It's really just whatever he's hoping to happen when he throws his punch will happen more times than not if he gets his jackpot. I don't know if I'd call it durability negation, though. Strongest Dragon Ball character Ikkaku can beat. Strongest. I don't know if Ikkaku can beat. See, here's the thing, Michael. I've been like, who beat Raditz? Probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't scale Dragon Ball Z. First off, I just know niggas can't beat Goku. Niggas can't beat Whis and the Angels, etc., etc. But yeah. Didn't Shishigawara break Ikkaku's arm and Ikkaku just popped it back into place by flexing? That is true. It did happen. Yep, Shinigami. Sylvie. The guy said I'm glazing Yuha when I just mentioned his power and abilities. Then he replied, Hakai isn't Goku's only. With a single ki blast is enough. Oh my god. I mean, maybe. A single ki blast, maybe. Depends. It depends. I mean, I doubt it. No, not even maybe. I doubt it. I do doubt that. That's not happening. A case where the amp can literally apply is Ichigo's Bankai. As it's stated by Byakuya and in character book Souls, that his Bankai uses the entire fighting prowess amp to raise his speed. That's true. Well, I mean, so yeah, Ichigo is, of course, the standard case that it can be argued. But the thing is, for other people, like, even take Kenpachi versus Unohana. When Kenpachi started to injure Unohana and she goes Bankai, she's still able to keep up with him even though he's now at his most powerful for a good amount of time before she gets killed. And then part of her just wanted to die anyway just to pass on the title of Kenpachi. So it's kind of unscalable at that point anyway. But yeah, as he's getting faster, she's keeping up. Go watch that fight again, bro. It's a really good fight. Dorsey, with or without a fully prepared Bankai. It is a 10 times amp on all stats. Because everything is spiritual. If your hacks is amped, so will your stats. In which case it would only linearly apply to his speed. Ab-Stract, do you have Discord where you discuss these things? I do. Can someone give Sylvie my Discord? I hate having to get my Discord because it always takes me a minute to find it. If someone doesn't put it in the chat, I'll do it at the end of the live. For me, it's hard to say, considering Ikkaku has some of the smallest fights. We don't know just how strong he got from Wakamundo, to be honest. Oh, 2,000 Year Blood War. That's true. We really don't know. I think every Bankai can be at least a 3 times amp to AP for anyone, as it's stated to be a Shinigami's strongest technique, and they learn things like Ryodon, which amps striking power by several times. You know what? Grid by 3 times, I wouldn't be mad at that. I honestly would not be mad at that. For me, it would just be proving it. Mind you, I do believe it, but proving it is another step that, as a power scaler, as a content creator, I would have to take. So I do agree with the notion, but I'd have to be the one to prove it. Or you could prove it and, make my life easier type shit. I think it will be the second strongest in Namek Sanga. Gotta bounce tonight, folks. Hey, take it easy, Michael. I mean, when Yuha can revive himself, what's the point of even killing him? Goku versus Yuha is just Ichigo versus Yuha, but with no win cons and plot armor. Ab-Stract. Thank you, Ig. Appreciate you, bro. I'm an onk, and it does take me a minute to copy and paste my shit. I don't know why, and I never have it off the top of my head. I never do, but yeah. Let's get back to the video.
If that person seems weaker overall, they can still win because they're exploiting a fundamental weakness. Now, I know many individuals are probably pretty triggered right now, so just to refocus, I need you to understand the main reason I'm discussing this topic isn't to argue that Luffy could beat Goku. That's a discussion that could be had, and maybe we will one day, but that's not really the point I'm interested in right now. The real reason I'm talking about this is to show you just how much traditional power scaling language completely breaks down when it comes to One Piece, especially when internal destruction haki is involved. And it's very important to understand this if you actually want to try scaling these characters properly. Like, to see what I mean, let's ask a seemingly simple question. How durable is Kaido really? Like, according to Versus Battle
question.
Wiki, Whole Cake Island Luffy is considered to be at least country level in attack potency. Now, if you've seen my video on how strong Gear 5 Luffy is, you already know that's a massive underestimation. But for the sake of this discussion, let's just accept it. So, a country level Luffy could not even scratch a base form Kaido's external body. But then, with internal destruction haki, Luffy is now bypassing Kaido's external defenses and hitting his brain directly, which obviously is much more vulnerable than his skin, muscles, and bones. That same country level attack is now landing internally, without being cushioned by any external defense. So again, how durable is Kaido really? How do you even begin to quantify that? Now I get it, some of you might still be struggling to conceptualize this. I mean, we're talking about this invisible energy called haki, flowing through skin and bone and damaging organs directly. It's a bit abstract. And I know some of you are probably thinking—
I'm abstract.
Well, at one point Luffy did say his punches were still too shallow, and maybe you take that to mean not all of the haki is reaching the internal organs. So let's simplify it by switching examples. Let's talk about Law versus Big Mom. Because with Law, there's no guesswork. There's no need to imagine haki flowing through tissue. He literally places his sword inside Big Mom's body. There's no outside in speculation. It's already inside. And from there,
Big Mom is beating on Law, and Law still holding on. Big Mom is throwing
Mom's body. There's
several
no
attacks,
outside in speculation.
and Law is still holding on. I'm gonna call you later tonight, Tay.
It's already inside, and from there, he activates Kroom and uses his sword to electrocute her organs directly from within. And according to Versus Battle Wiki, even Law's external attacks are moon level in attack potency. So now, Law is using that level of power inside Big Mom's body, with all her external defenses completely bypassed. Her internal organs that are much weaker than skin or bone, are taking the full force of that attack directly. And again, even if we set aside all the technical power scaling talk, all the what level is this attack kind of stuff, and just look at what's literally happening on screen, you start to realize just how insane this interaction really is. Like, think about it. Law's attack completely shatters the ground beneath the island. It's not some light tap. It's an attack with so much force, it's warping the terrain. And yet, Big Mom's internal organs are taking...
So what we would do is scale Law's DC and derive the AP from that. We would get the volume of the sword, but then the attack kind of expands outward, almost like a shockwave. It'd be hard to do, but I'd leave that up to Michael or Galaxy or Sage or something like that. They're the One Piece guys.
In that attack directly. No armor, no skin, no muscles, no bone to absorb the impact. Just raw force hitting her from the inside. And what makes this even crazier is that right after that, she gets hit by Kid's strongest move, his electromagnetic railgun, right in the same general area, but this time from the outside, yet she's still somehow smiling and resisting his attack for some time. Again, let that sink in. Big Mom takes a devastating, direct organ targeting attack from inside her body, immediately followed by a high-level electromagnetic blast from the outside, but in the same spot, which would add even more damage to her organs, and yet she was still somehow enduring.
So I don't know if there's any feat for Kid's attack. All we can say is that it would scale with other attacks, like Law's, I guess. But we'd still need the calc for Law's attack. And it being a durability negation feat also doesn't really help us. Like, all that tells us is that they got hurt, but we still don't know how much damage it would have done because it's a durability negation feat. It literally bypassed their durability. So it's going to hurt. They're not dead, so they can clearly survive with, being dished out. But it doesn't tell us too much.
So again, how do you even begin to quantify her durability?
It's a good question.
How do you compare her to characters in other series?
Good
Now,
question.
by this point, I imagine most of you get the point. But just in case someone out there still doesn't fully understand the point I'm trying to bring across, let me give you probably the most clear example there is to give. That is, Luffy tanking Kizaru's explosion on Egghead. Like, really think about this. An explosion from Kizaru is not just some regular blast. It's on the level of a Biju bomb, or Deidara's C0 from Naruto.
Biju Bomb? C0? What are Kizaru's best laser
Clear
feats?
example there is to give. That is, Luffy tanking Kizaru's explosion on Egghead. Like, really think about this. An explosion from Kizaru is not just some regular...
He can one-shot ships. Cool. So I need to see Kizaru vaporize some shit. I need to see Kizaru pulverize some shit. If we're gonna compare it to like Biju bombs and Setos of all things, you know, he didn't say Seto, but I need to see it like vaporize something. Someone has it vaporized anyone?
Blast. It's on the level of a Biju bomb or Deidara's C0 from Naruto. In fact, it's obviously stronger. Again,
Obviously stronger. Steinix, he ain't cooking with this one. He ain't cooking with this one. I wouldn't agree it's as strong as I would not agree it's as strong as a Biju bomb no.
going off versus Battle Wiki.
Attack potency moon level plus should be comparable to his fellow colleagues, small planet level, could fight and clash with Snake Man Luffy, higher acceleration, yada 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 yada.
Kizaru's attacks are considered moon level. Now imagine that level of explosion going off inside someone's body. That's what happened to Luffy. Like, be honest with yourself. Regardless of how...
Well, no, that wouldn't be necessarily true. Luffy is rubber, and thus his properties would probably like allow the energy to reflect and bounce within him. Hence why you can even see it coming out of his eyes.
Body. That's what happened.
Yeah, he's rubber. He's not a normal person, and he's also in Gear 5. There's a lot of variables going on here, Steinix. You should know this. The energy is in him, circulating around, bouncing. Like, that wouldn't happen to a normal person. It's because he's rubber and in Gear 5. I would not say, let's grant him moon level just for this sake. I wouldn't say this is Luffy tanking a moon level internal attack, though. I wouldn't say that. That's number one. Number two, I'd need some qualifiers for why he thinks his lasers are as strong as a Biju bomb. I don't even think they have half the DC of a Biju bomb. And mind you, I'm basing this off of I've never seen the lasers vaporize anything. I've never seen them pulverize anything. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen the after effects or the after damage of one of his lasers, like a wide shot of his lasers causing any observable damage
Luffy.
or destruction.
Like, be honest with yourself. Regardless of how strong you think Naruto or Sasuke is, if a Biju bomb or Deidara's C0 or even just a regular nuclear bomb went off...
First off, no one in Naruto is surviving that period, inside or outside, bare body. No one's surviving that period.
And even if you disagree with that part, that's fine. Because here's the actual point I want you to consider. Let's say Naruto, Sasuke, or whichever other character you want can survive a Biju bomb level explosion, but that explosion hits them from the outside, where they have their external body, their chakra cloak, their
Dunkin' Refreshers. Blueberry Breeze. Mango Pineapple.
their armor, whatever defenses they've trained and reinforced. Now compare that to Luffy, who is surviving a similarly powerful explosion from the inside, where all external defenses are bypassed, and the weakest parts of the body, his internal organs, are taking the full brunt of the blast directly. Should those...
But he's not. We literally just saw the energy was leaking out of his eyes, his nose, and his ears probably too. Number one, the energy was leaking. As I keep saying, he is a rubber man in Gear 5, which turns everything else rubber, which means the beam inside him is rubber. Like, there's all these other factors, and I still haven't seen why Kizaru's blast would be comparable to a Biju bomb. I haven't seen that. I also don't know any destructive values for Kizaru's blast.
Those two levels of durability really...
Mind you, I think the AP... Well, no, I don't think the AP is higher. Like, the AP is higher based off of scaling, but I don't think there's a calc that gets his beams that high. It'd be high due to scaling, but not like from a calc. Not that I've seen, at least.
...be placed in the same category. Obviously not. even if the raw power of the explosion is the same, the context of the damage being withstood is totally different. And this is exactly what's happening with every single internal destruction haki attack. You're seeing the punch, but you're not seeing what's actually happening underneath. And that's why One Piece is almost impossible to scale properly using conventional language. Now again, I just want to make something very clear. I'm not saying that One Piece characters are automatically stronger than and solo every other verse just because of these internal destruction techniques. That's not the claim here. Like, take Garou for example, who used internal destruction attacks against Saitama, and Saitama obviously withstood them without issue. So obviously there are all kinds of exceptions and special workarounds depending on the verse. So again, this isn't about saying One Piece beats everything else. The main point of this video is to show that most scalers, including most One Piece scalers, are getting One Piece scaling completely wrong. These characters are operating on a level that's often way beyond how they're typically framed in the power scaling community. And that misunderstanding isn't necessarily because people aren't paying attention, it's because the language we're using to talk about these characters simply doesn't fit. And until that language evolves, until we start factoring in these nuances that Oda has foisted upon us, most people are just never going to grasp how powerful these characters actually are. And that's the core of the internal destruction.
I don't know if it's a language issue though. I don't know if it's a language issue. We can put to words what exactly is happening with internal destruction. I mean, the entire video is about internal destruction, and I don't feel like anything that was said went over anyone's head. We understand what's going on. The issue would be the quantifying part. I think that was like during the middle half of the video. The quantification of these things would be the issue, not necessarily the language of it. We understand what's going on. It would just be getting necessary minimums to determine to what degree we're going to upscale these attacks. And then how that would apply crossverse. Because that's all we're all really concerned about, crossverse. All right, let's check the chat. Not to mention Silver Yuha can legitimately steal his opponent's power and use it for himself. That's also a tall order to deal with. Bankai either boosts all of your stats equally or greatly boost a certain stat and then slightly boost other stats. I could get behind that. Yeah, I know that, which is another win con for Yuha, who have a lot of win cons, to be for real. Ichigo versus Yuha isn't really a big showcase for Yuha's power. Ichigo versus Yuha shows Yuha's power way better. True. And that's two different fights totally, right? Ichigo is more hack-based. Ichigo is more physical ability-based. Kaido did get slashed by swordsman without internal destruction. That's true, Karibo. He did. And I never let Terry live that one down. Law is nasty. Law is fire. Kaido got slashed, but barely took any damage. Ab-Stract, she didn't use advanced conquerors of coding. If you're talking about Big Mom, it shouldn't matter because Law didn't have haki on his full body either. Except she was actually using armament haki. Can someone tell this guy that VSBW isn't reliable? No power scaling wiki is reliable, to be for real. I mean, I use VSBW for the tiering. I don't use it for pretty much anything else. I'll check in on it to see how they're doing with certain conversations and stuff like that because I do have a vested interest in what these people do put out depending on what it is. So I'm not going to say like they're unreliable. It's just I wouldn't like I do feel like he leans on them a little too much. Like a little too much. But yeah, it's all personal though. It's all subjective. Do what you want to do, but yeah, I wouldn't use them that much. You can still get a better idea of his durability from that in a more conventional manner. Revenant says, every swordsman who managed to cut Kaido used Ryo, every single one, which amounts to a whopping 2 swordsmen. Igno says, bro said hitting her from the inside with a straight face. Sylvie says, what? Can you say that again? Kizuru's blast is like a Biju bomb? Yeah, I don't know where you got that from. And here's the thing, it's not that it can't be stronger, it's just I haven't seen any feats or calcs that would suggest it is stronger. Bijou Bomb, no. C0, not really. That's, yeah. It is comparable, Ab-Stract. Oh, okay, so Rev thinks it's comparable. Okay, obviously stronger, brother, please. Get him out of the kitchen, lock him up. He is showing a Rasen Shuriken Bijou Bomb. He gotta be stopped. Hey, yo, Karibo. Nigga said he gotta be stopped. Alright, Rev says, the ships are bigger than C0's range, and those mangroves in Sabao de Archipelago he pulverizes are massive. Okay, he pulverizes. Okay. I gotta see that. What could I type in to see that? Let's see. All right. Okay. That's not a really good one. But I'm guessing that's it. Shout out to Cables Calcs. I need to find like a good one. Okay, I'll have to do this on my own time, actually, because this will actually be a little difficult. But okay, he destroys a big mangrove, which is essentially a tree. I don't know if big tree outdoes mountain. I don't know about all that, but you know. Okay, obviously, I really got to defend mid Zaru out here. Where Red at? Kurama ate Bijou Bombs multiple times. Do you think the KCM chakra cloaks protect Naruto's internals? Good question. Yours truly says, Kizaru never went all out, AP/DC wise. If Bijou Bomb is like village level to country level DC AP wise, then Kizaru has higher AP/DC. He never went all out, but we can only judge what we see. We can't judge off of potential or what could have happened or what he could have shown or what he could be capable of. We can only judge what he has shown and what he has done to get necessary minimums, all in the endeavor to be as accurate and consistent as possible. So, if he never went all out in AP and DC, and if the Bijou Bomb is like village level to country level, well, so you keep doing DC and AP wise, it would only be one. The Bijou Bomb, Kurama's Bijou Bomb, I don't know if it would destroy the entire Leaf Village, maybe a section of it or maybe half of it. So that would be the DC of what was destroyed. And even then, I think it would only be vaporization for a majority of it, but not all of it either. Almost like how when a nuke goes off, most things in the immediate vicinity would get vaporized, most things. But everything after the first maybe 50 feet, it's going to be destroyed, but not vaporized. Bro is getting blitzed by himself. No, he doesn't. Maybe not yet, but currently, that's for sure. His laser beams isn't remotely close to a Bijou Bomb. In calcs, guys. I want to make sure I'm saying in calcs. His lasers definitely scale higher. But in calcs, no. Or at least not what I've seen. It's hard. Maybe given the damage Naruto survives, and even foretells Naruto survive eating a Bleach bomb. Alright, so Karibo, the Bijou bomb didn't explode in him. And it was literally being eaten and condensed to be a different attack. Like, it's not the same thing as having the entire thing explode in him and then him surviving that. I don't think that's the same. Ab-Stract, Devil Fruit abilities do not work when stronger haki is used. So while yes, Luffy's Devil Fruit is in play, the fact in itself proves that at least his haki / defense / durability does scale. If you're saying it scales to the laser, that's fine. But then, is this Kizaru's strongest form? Is this Kizaru doing his best? Again, most people would say no. Right? Like Sage Otsutsuki on Twitter / Naruto, he would say no. Kizaru was not even trying. So while yes, the Devil Fruit can scale, and when stronger haki is used, it may not. It may overtake a weaker user. Hard to say if Kizaru was actually trying. You saw that last statement is implied to Bleach. Is implied to Bleach characters, not One Piece characters, because I saw people saying One Piece reaches Moon to Planetary more than people who think Bleach reaches Universal. That's an interesting comment. One Piece reaches Moon to Planetary more than people think Bleach is Universal. I can get behind it. I could buy it. It's more so parameters. Yeah, that's my point. And Yuha just wanted to destroy Ichibei real quick. That wasn't the case for Ichigo, right? The samurai all were using Ryo to cut Kaido. Not to mention the man had PTSD. He had PTSD. Notice when Zoro tried to cut him using regular armor, not haki, he couldn't even scratch him. Right. I meant those aren't reliable for scaling characters, but the tier system is good. Okay, I got you. The explanation for abilities is good. The sources they provide is great, but their scaling for characters is off. Yes, I agree with that. Kizaru destroys Sabaody. He destroys all of Sabaody. I have to go back and watch / read that. Personally, I use it to read new comic books. The Straw Hat ship is bigger than Kurama. The mangroves make the ships look like dots, and those tree roots support a continent. Definitely stronger than mountains. In fact, the wood base beats iron. Should have at least pinned notes in the corner quantifying the feats he references. Yeah, see, that's one thing too. Like, if you're going to assert several times the feat is stronger than another feat, give me some numbers at the very least. But Rev, that's some pretty solid evidence. I'll have to take a look at that stuff. I'm still watching One Piece. I took a break, but I'm still watching One Piece. But that's some pretty solid stuff. And like I said, I have no doubt it calcs better. But now you've just provided... Oh, I'm sorry. I have no doubt it scales better. But now you've just provided some interesting calcs that I could look for. So next time I can be more informed. So yeah, that's good.
Problem. But anyway, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyway, see you guys next time.
Life is more legal than you think, and LegalZoom is here to help. Whether it's registering a business,
Oh, Aizen's World, we got 8 minutes. Alright, yeah, we're gonna watch it. Karibo says, foretells Naruto's body expands when the Bleach bomb explodes in him. He then roars out the shockwave. Is that what's happening? Oh. I've always been under the impression that the Bijou bomb exploded in Naruto's stomach, and then he opened his mouth to direct the force of that towards Orochimaru. Okay, see, I always thought what he was doing was once he condensed it, he ate it, the energy expanded, and then he shot it out for it to become a beam. I never really took it as like a full explosion, but if that's what y'all think is happening, then hey, I'm not mad at it. Nelia, hold my Seto double. Facts. All right, we're gonna watch Aizen's World's video, then we're gonna get out of here, guys.
How strong is Senjumaru Shitara, really? This video was requested by donation to the channel. If you wish to donate and request your own video, a link to our Discord server will be in the description. Now then, let's get into it.
Bankai, Katen Kyokutsu Karamatsu Shinju, Bankai, Senbon Zakura, Kagechi, Bankai, no Natsuki, Bankai, Kannon Biraki, Benihime Aratami.
Senjumaru Shitara is known as the Great Weave Guardian of the Squad Zero, and despite the tremendous power displayed by her Bankai in the Thousand-Year Blood War, there are still infinite numbers of aspects of her powers which were not displayed in the anime. I'll divide Senjumaru's capability into 3 categories. First, raw power and speed. Second, abilities. And third, personal skill. The slightest use of Senjumaru's power could cause the heaven and earth of the 3 realms to shake. But how does one validate these statements and feats? Well, first of all, we could literally see the spiritual pressure reach the Seirete and the living world. And it was directly stated that this spiritual pressure reached from one realm to the other. So the quake or shaking applies to all of the distance between the worlds, even from the perspective of planet Earth within the realm of the living, which in the end of chapter drawings, which exists within the context and setting of the story, has distant galaxies. It is not only implied to exist in the same solar system as our own Earth, but within the same observable universe, as subject areas like astrology depend on the divisions of the universe which can be seen, again depicting a very similar outer space. The living world dimension is potentially its own universe, as humans' understanding of the world with the same type of science that we possess in real life believe that dimension to be a universe in itself, which with Soul Society as its counterpart would mean that Senjumaru was shaking a small multiverse. But even if we say that these worlds were just chunks of a bigger universe, and not separate universes with different types of matter which would merge back into one larger universe, Senjumaru's Bankai would be passively shaking an entire universe, with separate dimensions containing galaxies and oceans of stars. But there is still more to this feat because the dimensions are separate spacetimes, which means that the spiritual pressure would have to affect both matter and space to travel across separate dimensions. Adjoining the visible shaking effects with the actual translations means that Tenchi refers to the actual vault of the skies containing all heavenly bodies and the earth, or simply the universe itself. To make this even more apparent, the members of Squad Zero, besides Ichibei, created a blood oath, which requires them to sacrifice themselves to allow one person to use their Bankai. So the principles of the universe judged that just the presence of their collective Bankai would significantly affect the 3 realms of the universe. Applying this basic shaking feat across the universe for a single Bankai, even like a weak magnitude 4 earthquake, would yield multi-solar system level energy. This merely amounts to a multi-solar system level Bankai presence. But how much power could she generate if she actually fought? And this is where Senjumaru's true power shines, because a Bankai's presence is incomparable to its actual power. Take Konjigi Ashi Sogi Jizo or Kokujo Tengen Myo, which are also manifestation type Bankais, and consider the aura which comes from the presence of the Bankai to the aura which comes from an attack. Or Zanka no Tachi with enough presence to threaten an opponent, but enough attack power to vaporize them and their constructs. Furthermore, Bankai attack power can be multiplied beyond the thousands of times over, using special energy manipulation techniques, like Byakuya's Shukei Hakuteiken, which crams 1,000 blades into one, or Kenpachi Azashiro Soya, who merged Reishi from an area comparable to the size of Seirete into the space of a small blade. But how do these energy manipulation techniques, which can drastically raise your power, apply to Senjumaru? It's because her Bankai ability grants her infinite possibilities. As I will explain later, her fabrics and the dimensions they create can produce infinite types of abilities according to her desire, thanks to the information revealed from the Bleach Expo. This means that her Reiroku, or spirit energy manipulation, has far more freedom and flexibility than any of the characters previously listed. Even in just Shikai, she commands all the Reishi in the Royal Palace dimension. Also, a huge shout out to Schneizel, who not only provided information from the Bleach Expo, but in case you guys didn't know, was also responsible for the fan translation of Can't Fear Your Own World years ago. Now, if Senjumaru's Bankai presence is already multi-solar system level, and she can freely...
Is that the guy that I use? No, not this one. Oh, do I have it? Did I get rid of it? Fuck, I might have got rid of it, bro. I think I got rid of it. It's okay. No big deal.
but in case you guys didn't know, was also responsible for the fan translation of Can't Fear Your Own World years ago. Now, if Senjumaru's Bankai presence is already multi-solar system level, and she can freely condense and manipulate her energy, in principle she can easily create constructs that can multiply her power to galaxy or even multi-galaxy levels. And there's also the godlike speed which accompanies her Bankai, which in the anime could reach the Earth from Royal Palace in mere minutes. Applying this time to the distance between the Earth and the closest visible galaxy would yield quintillions of meters per second as a speed value, or massively faster than light plus, a severe lowball which ignores the other realms, and the fact that Earth is distant galaxies away from any dimensional boundary. This is relevant to Senjumaru, who could react to Uryu, with the latter being able to react to the Bankai, which is of course propelled by its own reiatsu, from the outside and from within thanks to our knowledge of Rei, which revealed that reiatsu is a force from within reishi particles as well, which would constitute Senjumaru's Bankai cloth.
That was some cold shit. That was some cold shit. If you don't know why that was cold just now, you might need to do some more research. Just the other day, I was saying I don't really scale Bleach speed based on the traveling speed of reiatsu. What he just presented makes that possible.
Grab your freaking friends and be the first to see Freakier Friday.
Take that, boomers! We're Gen X!
It's an absolute riot, genuinely brilliant, and a total comedic masterclass.
Like last time. What last time? I think I just peed a little.
Disney's Freakier Friday, rated PG.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is...
There?
I was gonna say that.
Senjumaru's Shikai Shigaraki can produce an infinite amount of thread, which she can easily manipulate, coupled with the ability to control reishi itself. She can even thread reishi together to create constructs, as you might have seen in the fight against Uryu Ishida. And through stitching, she can also regenerate body parts that are missing, and create massive physical illusions capable of tricking even Ligebaro's senses. Illusions like a fake royal palace. And these are quinces who can observe spiritual activity all the way down to the atomic level. Her illusions can also move in real time according to the enemy's attacks. And all of this is just her Shikai. Senjumaru's Bankai can generate an infinite amount of tanmono or cloth, which she can manipulate as she sees fit. The kanji also implies that her Shikai threads either grow or extend infinitely. The latter meaning would mean that she produced an infinite amount of reishi, and by that latter interpretation her Shikai would produce high universal amount of energy, if interpreted as extending rather than growing. And her Bankai can produce an amount of cloth and properties in response to the number and characteristics of the enemy. Furthermore, the Irazusando pocket dimension was created by Senjumaru, as in Ichigo was inside one of her cloth. In other words, inside Senjumaru's cloth are pocket dimensions, and these dimensions are weaved together with any property she desires. And there are an infinite number of varieties. In other words, Senjumaru weaves entire dimensions together in her cloth, and she determines the infinite rules or laws.
I said this when when we saw Senjumaru's Bankai for the first time. And we finished the fight with Uryu. I said, yo, and me and Rev actually said this the other day too. I said, yo, what if inside of her Bankai, when you're beaten, you're actually in the cloth and that's its own fucking spatial dimension? That's fire. Oh my god, man.
Of these spaces. Imagine Shunsui Kiraku's Zanpakuto Shikai, which creates children's games and decide the rules, combined with Yukio's Invaders Must Die, in which he controls the dimensions, but with endless options and far more spiritual pressure. Furthermore, Senjumaru can use abilities which ignore your power level, abilities which are based on pure hacks. She was able to reflect Ligebaro's true X-axis, an ability with infinite penetrating power, as it ignores any number of barriers between the muzzle of the gun and the target, which means that Senjimaru can create constructs and abilities which can counter or produce infinite attack power. This form of penetration also transcends spatial abilities, as there are already abilities which can break through the very fabric of spacetime, with Ligebaro's X-axis transcending those. Along with the typical Shinigami skills like Kido, Zanjutsu, Flash Step, and so on, Senjimaru is called 1000 Arms because of her extremely quick work. And we saw her demonstrate this against Ninezel Wizel when she speed blitzed his instincts and remade his clothes. Even her base travel speed surprised the likes of Soifun, who is well known for her own prowess in Shunpo. And to blow your mind even further, she broke Mayuri's security code with ease, was compared to Mayuri and Kisuke in Can't Fail Your Own World in matters of intelligence, and in the past she was the head of a research and development team with Mayuri Kurotsuchi as one of her subordinates. So how powerful is Senjimaru? Yes.
Yes. That's fucking hilarious. Hey, good video. Good video. There was a lot in there. It wasn't really it was a power scaling video, but more so of a this bitch is badass type video. Good video though. I like that. I might have to review that and look at some of that evidence more closely another day. Let's see. Yeah, I love Kurama. Yeah, I love Kurama just roars out a Bijou Bomb shockwave. I like when the Bijou Bomb have unique spins on their Bijou Bombs, like the Eight Tails adding lightning style. So she is at least Universal Plus, consistently low multiversal, highballed 5D, speed, FTL at worst, consistently MFTL. Let's see his opinion. I think he did good, Sylvie. I think he did pretty good. He might have surpassed what your expectations. Being saying this, LOL, this dude is on my wavelength. Oh yeah, no, Aizen's World is fire. I like Aizen's World. He's good. Yes, and bypass dimensional barriers / time axis. There he goes, touching the thermostat. Hey, Kai. You damn right. Because now it's almost time for bed. That means I have to turn the heat. I have to turn the air conditioning down so I can sleep peacefully. If we include the timeline statement explained by Yuha during 1000 Year Blood War, it can get the high hyperversal and outerversal with the primordial sea because the concept of space and time doesn't exist. That's true with the primordial sea. That's true. He should have read about Kanpaku before scaling her to multi-solar system. He should have read about Kanpaku. What do you mean by that? That's not really the case. The timelines doesn't scale that to the hyperversal, but the statement of Mayuri saying a place with complete dominion over time, space, and infinite dimensions does. Oh, okay. GK says, Sylvie, Yuha said that there are infinite futures and each future is infinitely expanding and branches out infinite possibilities. This is Hilbert's space, which is high hyperversal max. Rev says, Ab-Stract, funny how I made up the power system name as Ray in the doc I sent you. Turns out Kubo already calls it Ray. I never knew that. Yo, that's fire, bro. That's dope. That's dope, Rev. Speaking of which, I will be getting back to you. We are going to have this conversation. In fact, Rev, I think, stand by. We'll talk. I don't remember this happening in the manga, to be honest. Was it chapter 768 or something like that? I've read the Hell one shot on my only once in 2021, I think. Manga chapter farther. I don't remember the name. Maybe like 678. Don't remember. 4-layered BFR. Yeah, exactly. 4-layered BFR, definitely. Does he say that? I remember him saying, in other words, I don't really think that statement means infinite timelines. Each timeline branches infinite possibilities. I was thinking that way too. Yeah. But that's not the case. He just says, in other words, describing infinite futures as infinite possibilities. I think he did, but it's not really consistent. Like, what do you mean? Infinite defense and infinite attack? Sophie, here's the statement. Go ahead. The future is not a single straight path stretching out from the past. The future is like countless grains of sand scattered outward from the present. Though they may seem utterly different. Though they may seem utterly different, of those countless grains is the future. To put it another way, each grain represents one of countless possibilities. All right. Oh my fucking god, my neck hurts. This means one future equals infinite possibilities. That's true. And that would actually make sense lining up. Because the future is always happening until it's not. And there's no point it won't be happening because existence does exist. So if in this very moment, like for example, in the future, I'm going to go to fuck the bed, right? But also in the future, I'm not going to go to fuck the bed. I'm going to do some push-ups. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get a fucking snack. I'm going to get hit by a car. The future that I want to happen may not happen to someone else, or I'm sorry, to a different Ab-Stract. Very true. Every choice and decision we make is one of an infinite possibility of choices we can potentially make. So yeah. You're referencing the first time Yuha explained his ability, but after absorbing Ryo's power and stabilizing the power later into the fight, he described it like that breaking Zangetsu. Possibility creates action, and action creates future. Future creates timelines. Yes, GK just described that perfectly. Literally, I think what I just said 1-to-1. I know that each feature is a timeline, but that changes everything. And Rukia even shudders at the thought of even conceptualizing such a power, calling it the power to control fate, omnipotent power. Yeah, that's dope. Where we at? How is people scaling Yuha's hacks to baseline 4D? How are they scaling Bleach to just universal when this statement exists? I don't really remember this one, but it changes everything. That was at the extreme low ball. Yeah. But all right, guys, we about to get out of here. Oh, as always, thank you for pulling up. GK, nice to start seeing you in the chat, man. Sylvie, nice to start seeing you, although I know you've been here before. And I think, yeah, GK, you were here yesterday / I think, GK, you might have started like either last week or this week. I think it might have been this week. In either case, it's always good having new faces, new friends. Yours truly says, when it comes to the higher tier thing, Rookie is not a good source. Bye, man. Yeah. Got y'all, man. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Be safe. Enjoy y'all weekend, man.